Yes. And do you go by Lorin Nielsen or Lorin Chun?
I'm technically still Lorin Chun.
Okay.
Yeah,
love it.
She hasn't changed her name.
Okay. Might not happen. I don't know. I don't like to wait in line, so.
And Nielsen's pretty common name.
But like, no.
You would think they'd make it easier.
It's like if I change my name to Lorin Nielsen, it will almost be like a sneak attack because Lorin Chun, like you know what to expect.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
But then like if I change it to Lorin Nielsen, then
everyone's
like,
what the? Are you serious? You didn't warn us you were Asian?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly like those like sneaky. It's like ninja.
Yeah.
Caucasian.
Yeah. Caucasian ninja. Yeah.
So then we talked about hyphenating our name, and then we talked about just scrapping both of our last names
and
just coming up with a new last name.
Like he didn't want to do that, and I was like, "It's not fair." Sorry, we've already started the podcast.
Oh yeah, I'm here with Lorin Chun and Jason. I'm just the nerves. Josh Nielsen.
I typically respond to any J name.
Yeah.
Just
Josh,
like Jansen,
John, James.
Yeah.
Because my grandma, my brother-in-law Brandon, I think that she first called him Ryan for probably like 2 years or so, and then he got graduated to Brian.
Oh,
so
closer.
Like, yeah, started with the same letter, and now she just calls him.
Someday.
Yeah, Lacey's husband. So someday, but I don't think that she's bothering to learn his actual name because they have not yet produced grandchildren.
Right.
So like they don't really count.
So they're useless.
They're dead
to
her,
basically
right?
Useless to her until they produce grandchildren.
I get
so
that.
That's why.
I get
so,
that.
I have a friend named Jansen, and he every time we go to like eat or anything, you know how you put your name in and they call it out. He just puts Jason because he's just given up. You know? He's like, I've been doing this for so long, and everyone says Jason anyway. Whatever, just call me Jason. I don't care. It's okay. I don't have a personality. I don't have like an identity. I'm just Jason.
I'm just Jason. And Josh got down. He got. What did you get? You got demoted to just my boyfriend because we also don't have kids yet.
Yikes! Shoot. Pretty soon we'll be like, just friends.
I was like 2 feet away from her grandma. Yeah, and she
downgraded to
friends.
So. Oh my gosh! My mom actually does stuff like that all the time. And like you've been dating someone for a long time, she'd be like, "Hey, when's your friend coming over?" Like, my girlfriend? Like, yeah, what's her name? Like,
my life partner?
She's been with me for years. Like, I can't believe you don't remember this.
Which is so odd because your mom is so personable.
Yeah.
She does it on purpose, though? She does it on purpose?
I don't think she does.
She's like,
I don't know.
You?
I don't know, actually. Like, yeah, if you don't have a baby on the way, I guess you don't actually count as a couple, you know? Which is why we're like, hey, we gotta get Maddie.
Yeah, that's
why. To be a part of the family.
Exactly.
Yeah, we gotta get her in the family pictures, you know? She can't be standing on the side any longer.
She's taking the picture, actually. Can you this picture for us, please?
Do you mind? It's a family picture, so we don't want you in it.
No.
We actually have a family picture, because we do like a big Halloween like theme every year. So we get the whole family. We're all dressed as like Vikings or as pirates or something. And
it's a lot of pressure coming into the family.
It is a lot of pressure.
Especially if Halloween isn't really a thing in your world.
And we take it very seriously.
Yeah.
So we go hard. But we have quite a few pictures of like ex-girlfriends dressed up in our family photos as like a Viking or something. The good thing is you can't really recognize them, so it could be the wife, you know, or maybe edit it a little bit.
That's good. That's the whole point though of the costume, right?
Yeah.
Is you can disguise the people that aren't going to stick around.
Exactly. That's why we do that's why we do it anyway.
So you always incorporate masks.
Yes.
It's your safety net.
If you're not legally married, you have to wear a mask.
You have to wear a mask. Okay, but real talk though. So I did bring a boyfriend to my sister's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, and we didn't, and he wasn't in the pictures.
Oh, smart.
Which was fine.
That is
like
smart.
It was a non-offensive thing, and Lisa was like, "Can we just like, would it be okay if we had some pictures without him?"
Yeah.
Like,
There's a right way to handle it, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's fine.
I mean, it honestly makes sense, you know, like, because you don't want to risk your pictures having some random ex-boyfriend from 10 years ago, and then it like ended ugly, you know, and
then you just can't look at your wedding pictures.
Yeah.
It makes you angry.
Maddie's actually in some of those. Remember with your 35-year-old boyfriend?
Okay,
Remember?
35? Really?
It's probably 35 now.
See, this is what we do. You invite me to your podcast, and then you sell me.
We'll edit this part out. But yeah, she did show me.
I have made it into a wedding picture or two of a boyfriend that did not pan out.
Which is lucky because look at you now, right?
Right.
Just sucks for them. Like, sorry about it.
We had some family pictures growing up that we didn't have the old like countdown camera thing, that they have now. And so there's a bunch of pictures that it's just my uncle's edited into. And it's like not even good editing, and it's just like all of us and then his face like from some church ball game picture from 5 years ago, and he's like, and they just like crop it in there and it looks terrible, but whatever.
You just didn't make it back. That's fine.
I think you almost have to do it that way though. Like it has to be like tongue in cheek. You have to kind of acknowledge it instead of actually having to be like really good editing and cropping in. Just have something that's completely off.
It has to be on the extremes. Either like it's so good that no one even knows it's edited, or it's so bad that it's like, oh, we could have done it good. But we just like did a crappy one on purpose.
Which I feel is like the cardboard cutout of like a missionary at weddings, It's like in all the photos it's so bad that everybody just acknowledges that that's a normal thing.
Yeah.
I don't really know why that's a thing, to be honest. But
I definitely think it's a Utah.
Probably.
It's like an LDS thing.
Yeah.
Probably.
Did you guys see the whole missionary thing at the airport?
That was a debacle.
That was
uncomfortable.
That was
uncomfortable.
I did not. What happened?
So like 1,600 missionaries flew back from the Philippines because they kicked out all the foreigners.
The same day.
And then they like all on the same day. And so like the church like chartered flights from Delta to like get the missionaries back from the Philippines to the here.
Yes.
to the here.
This place.
To the Utah and to the United States. And they had like really strict instructions that were like, wait in your car. The airport officials will escort the missionaries out and call your name, and then you can come out and grab your missionary and take them to your car. Right? That's basically what it was. And nobody listened, and they were literally
Brought
like
their
hundreds
friends,
and hundreds of people just like
grandma and
in
grandpa,
the parking
cousins,
lot with the signs and everything. I don't know. And I guess I did read somebody say that it was like the airport wasn't prepared and like we didn't know what was going on. And I was like, but you brought signs though. So like, you preemptively brought signs and your whole family.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I believe that.
There are pictures on the news that have like, the giant mass of people and there are signs everywhere. It's like, come on.
You brought signs.
This is after they said it's illegal to be in groups of more than 10, Yeah. It's like, what are you thinking? You brought 10 people just in your car.
I know I saw one of the signs was like, coronavirus got nothing on us. I'm like, eesh, now that picture of you holding that is going to be like, there's no way to say that you didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, it's like the YouTuber that licked toilet seats.
Yes.
And then got coronavirus.
And has coronavirus now. Yeah.
And probably a bunch of other stuff that we don't want to talk about.
Yeah, coronavirus is the least of that person's worries. I hope his YouTube channel is doing okay now, at least.
He's probably got lots of views.
Shifted the whole viewer base. Just a different type of people.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's one of those things that you don't know is going to be a big deal. Like all these people came out like joking about it. Like even at my work, they kind of like joked about it, like, hey, like make sure to not shake hands. And if you do, and then we have this funny video that they sent everyone. And then, well, right before they sent it, it actually became like a huge deal. And they like canceled work and everyone had to be sent home. Oh, that video like doesn't age well. Like if you made a video like 10 years ago talking about how much you love Bill Cosby, that video you can't watch that anymore.
Like why Bill Cosby is my role model.
It's like Bill Cosby is the greatest man I've ever known. Like nowadays with social media, you say something dumb. 10 years down the line, someone pulls up your Bill Cosby or like love video. And, like you can never live that down.
No.
But at the same time, it's like, how were you supposed to know that? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way.
People are very unforgiving, though.
People
are
that's
very
true.
Unforgiving.
That's very true.
So I hope you realize that this podcast is becoming that for you guys.
Yes, exactly.
Your entire
I've tried to tell him.
I've
tried to tell him.
I actually had the idea the other day. I was like, I should make a podcast that I just say everything I'm afraid to say accidentally and just put it out. So be like, okay, if you want to ruin my career, I already have it made for you.
Here it is.
Here it is. Here's the link. You can use this one. And then I won't be afraid of it because I would have already done it.
I'm so glad we're thinking so deeply.
So positive. Yeah. Come out and be like, I love Bill Cosby and women don't have rights and like say all this stuff. And then they can just click back to that and ruin my career anytime they want. genius. Foolproof.
Yeah. Safety net.
Just why?
Josh, has anyone ever told you look like Noah Olsen?
I don't know who that is. So
serious?
Probably not.
I'll show you. This might be offensive because he's a CrossFitter, and I know you're a strongman. So,
but he's pretty buff.
He is pretty buff guy.
Pretty buff.
But is he pretty though?
He's not pretty at all.
Not as pretty as you,
But
Josh.
I look like him.
Like he's not attractive at all. But like,
What are you trying to say?
He's probably just. He's a white blonde guy. Okay.
Maddie,
Because they all look
stop
the
making
same,
me look
so.
racist. Well, I'll let that load,
I don't,
and then
I don't
eventually I'll show you.
I don't have any issues with the principles of CrossFit because it originated as cross training, right?
Yeah.
Just
Right.
making sure that you're using a lot of different training methods and workouts and exercises, but I think that it's kind of just been funneled down into this one niche of what CrossFit is right now, which it takes a lot of skill and athleticism to do what they do, but it's completely different from what
It started
cross
out
training
as-
fitness actually like stands for.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, plus like the CrossFitters are like the vegans of the fitness world.
Yeah.
If you do CrossFit,
Yes.
everyone has to know that you do CrossFit.
Yes.
Right? It's like, I will die if I don't tell someone that I do CrossFit in the next 7 seconds.
It's true. It's true. And I don't know why that is. I think same with veganism. It's like, it's cool, but it's also a lot harder than it is cool. And so like you need to compensate for how hard it is for how much attention you get for it, you know? Because like if someone finds out by happenstance that you're vegan, like, oh wow, like you must put in like X amount of energy and you're this cool, whatever. And like I respect this much about you now that you told me you're vegan. But like it takes this much effort to be vegan. So they have to like remind you.
To like bump it up.
Yeah, exactly.
To the level.
It's
yeah,
like
I see.
it's like if you get
Like return
hit,
on investment.
exactly. Like if you get hit really hard, like with a baseball, and you have a big bruise, and someone sees it and it doesn't look purple, you know, then they'll be like, "Oh, you got hurt this much." But you have to complain because it actually hurts this much, and you want to like, you know, you want to even out what people actually think
The
you're
level
like.
of perception.
And I think that's the case with CrossFit, because like I think CrossFit's I've never really done it, but I imagine I've done it a couple times. It's really hard. And I think people respect CrossFitters because it's hard, but like it's a lot harder than how much respect they get. I think same with any athlete. You strongman too, and so like you feel the need to be like, well, no, like it's harder than it looks. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And the thing that I do admire about CrossFit is, it's really comparing yourself to yourself, which I like. But you do it in a group setting, so you have group support to be your best self,
Right.
Yeah.
and rather than that comparison to other people, which I think is really prevalent in the fitness world, but just like the world in general, right? It's just so hard to not compare yourself to other people, especially with social media. So I think that's something that I really admire, is that like group mentality to succeed.
Right.
Whatever that looks like for any individual person, you know, because you have people like Brooke Entz, who are like internationally ranked CrossFitters, and she could probably kick my butt. I don't know what your policy is. I'm not swearing on this.
Swear as much as you
Go
want.
for it.
That's PG.
Don't give her a full range. Jill.
Maybe not all. About this much. Let's say.
You know, she kicked my butt, but then at the same time, like I feel like she would be a person that would be, what's the word I'm looking for? Encouraging even, you know, the lowest level of CrossFitter, you know, someone just starting out.
Yeah.
And they feel like that's a lot of my experience in the fitness world, is that sometimes the people that are the most fit and like the most scary looking are oftentimes the biggest cheerleaders. And like
Of other people.
that are like the most willing to help you out and like so excited to like teach you a new exercise or help you with your form or whatever, right? That's something that that's really impressed me about sort of the fitness world.
Yeah.
Is it's not, you know, not everybody is like a mean bro that like is judging you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
No.
Not that those don't exist, but
Those totally exist.
there's
No.
still a small percentage.
I completely agree with you. I've noticed in my own, like first, like when I got home from a mission, going to the gym is a scary thing, you know, because you think all those same things. Like everyone's judging me, like I'm so weak, I'm so lame, like that guy's so big and strong and whatever, and all the big and strong guys are all looking at me and like judging me and they think I suck.
Your arms are a different color than your...
Yeah, like my arms, like my shorts keep falling down because I'm so skinny. But what
your
I've
legs
noticed,
were white.
I had no calves when I got home. Oh my gosh. What I've noticed, at least for me personally, and with the people that I know personally, it kind of seems to be the opposite. It seems to me that the better you get at something, like the more fit you get or the stronger you get or whatever, most people assume that you get a bigger head, but it seems like you become more secure, so you actually get less judgmental. It seems like the people who just walk in, like me that day, are kind of the most judgmental.
They feel defensive.
Yes.
Because they feel defensive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that's overgeneralized, but I don't know. I feel like those are the people that are looking around like, oh, he thinks he's so strong. Oh, she thinks she's so hot. She's putting her butt everywhere. But like those actual people.
How dare she?
Yeah, exactly.
Bring that butt into this gym.
Right, like keep that aside or wear baggier pants next time.
That's more like a compliment, really. It's like, man, how dare she bring that in here?
Right. Seriously, that should be illegal.
I think that's...
But
this
those
is where
people
are going to look back and say, yeah, this man can...
Yeah, this guy, cancel this guy. But those people, I've found, like when you actually become friends with those people, they're not judging the newbies.
Yeah.
Almost ever.
Yeah.
They're usually just like, yeah, I come here to work out. Like if I'm like the buffest guy in the gym or like the hottest girl in the gym, they're usually not looking at the other people who are trying and being like, oh, seriously? Yeah. You're so lame. Like, why'd you come in if you're not fit?
Right.
Like they've been through it, so they're confident. And so they're not judging people. More than anything, I found that they're helping.
Yeah, I think that comes down a lot to extrinsic versus intrinsic motivation. So I'm actually working on getting a personal training certification.
Awesome.
And I'm like 2 out of the first like 5 chapters are all about like motivation, like how to keep your client motivated, how to gauge what level of motivation they're at. But essentially there are 2 types of motivation, which is extrinsic and intrinsic. And it's exactly like it sounds. Like extrinsic, you're externally motivated. You want to look good. You want to have a nice physique,
other people
right?
to
Beach
see.
body.
Yeah.
Like it's the commercial mainstream like reason, right?
Right.
It's in advertising. It's all over the place. So generally, almost everyone is extrinsically motivated first and pretty much always. But the goal of a trainer and the goal of every person is to make sure that you develop an intrinsic motivation, which is to go because it feels good, because you enjoy it, because you get the endorphins. Better. Yeah, you're more positive, you have more energy, you have the health benefits, reduced risk of heart disease, like all of those things you're recognizing as like the internal motivations. And so I think kind of going on what we've discussed is those people that have that routine and have been working out and being physically active for years and years, they've developed that intrinsic motivation. So they're there to just feel good. It's almost like a job, right? It's just part of the routine now. It's not I have to do this. It's I want to do this, and it's just like I'm doing it. That's how it is for me.
Yeah.
It's like it's not a question of if I'm gonna go. It's like I'm going to the gym because I enjoy it. Yeah. And so those people and myself and I think Lorin even like we just enjoy when other people start to develop the same mentality and can get themselves there for those same reasons.
I like get pumped when I hear people have like started going to the gym. I'm like, yeah. Do it.
No, I do too.
I get so excited about it. I like have to like rein it back. I'm like, Lorin, not everyone is like you don't want to be that person, like that fit person that like talks about their workouts on like how early they get up and like what they eat. Don't be that person. So
rise and grind.
I have to like rein it in.
Well, but I think
that's really awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, I think that's what makes a real competitor. Someone that genuinely wants other people to succeed and be the best version of themselves so that you can have a good competition, Going back to the extrinsic motivation, it kind of aids itself. Like if you are cheering other people on, that means you're going to have more motivation because you're going to see them doing better. And it's going to make you automatically want to do better. And you're going to have a better, competition.
It's actually something I think about a lot, the extrinsic and intrinsic. I never thought about in those terms, but it's super true. And not even just with fitness. It's like with anything. Usually, like, there's kind of a hot spark in the beginning of starting something that comes from, how do I want to look in comparison to others? Like, how is this going to affect my status? How is this going to affect, who I'm perceived as? And the gym is no different. I want to go because I want to, look better than my cousin, or I want to look like that guy, or I want to, those types of things. But as you become more secure in your own interests, it transforms into something else. That still kind of never goes away, at least for me, a little bit. But it becomes a little bit more pure, where you are motivated just by, hey, I can be better for the sake of me being better, Right. And that's a lot more powerful, and it seems to last a lot longer too.
I think I started, so I've always been relatively active. My dad. My dad is a 60-year-old bodybuilder.
I have seen pictures.
I'm going to roll pictures during this part of him, copyright.
Winning awards for best abs at 56 years old. So it's
Reed
fine.
did say this morning that he's the coolest guy he knows.
He's a cool guy.
He's a pretty cool guy.
He's definitely the fittest middle-aged man I know. No question about that.
He just turned 60.
Oh my
gosh.
Later
my
age
dad,
man.
Yeah, he's in the senior group. He start getting senior discounts in
Heck yeah.
So, anyway.
People are not going to believe him at IHOP. He's like, no, I promise I'm 60. Okay.
That's so awesome.
All right, yeah. So I grew up with, fit figures in my life.
Yeah.
My version of a dad bod is very different. The general version of a dad bod. I think so. I'm glad that I had those role models growing up, but I feel like I didn't really start getting into fitness until probably just maybe 4 or 5 years ago, when I got back from Alaska. I lived in Alaska for a year. I went to college for a year. I took a year off to move to Alaska and be a nanny, and it's really easy to be fat in Alaska, to gain weight in Alaska, right?
I'm sure.
Because it is so cold and it's so dark.
Yeah.
For
you ain't going outside.
It's like a survival instinct. You need that extra fat.
It's biological.
Yeah. So when I got back and started going to school again, that's when I started to just go to the gym, pretty regularly, and it just was what it was.
Yeah.
And then, and it was great, and I had all my girlfriends, and it was wonderful. And then 3-ish years ago, I started training for an NPC show, which is like a bikini bodybuilding show, right? And I got a trainer and everything, and I was working my diet, and
that is a commitment.
It was very interesting because my motivations changed drastically from a little bit of intrinsic and mostly a little bit of extrinsic and mostly intrinsic to only extrinsic motivations, because you need to look a very specific way to compete.
Yeah, it's all about your physique. Yeah.
Right. And I want to give mad props to people that do it. I didn't make it on the stage. A week before I was to go on the stage, I got physically sick, but mostly I was psychologically ill. And it was my own fault. My trainer is she was amazing. She was so good, and it was me putting so much pressure on myself. I had never been skinnier. I had never been thinner than I was that week, but I was I am too fat. If I get on that stage, I'm gonna be an embarrassment.
Yeah.
Right? I was I'm just gonna be an embarrassment. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional.
Oh, good.
And that was me feeling I failed, right? I crapped out.
Yeah.
I failed myself, and it took a little bit of time for me to recover from that,
Totally.
physically and emotionally, just because I just have felt I just had failed so terribly. And my dad came over to do the competition with me. So he still came over and he still did it, and we went and saw him compete. And I looked at all the other girls on the stage, and I was I totally could have done it.
Yeah.
I looked fine, right? I looked great. I totally could have got up on that stage and competed, right? I spent $150 on a bikini, and I didn't wear it, right? It's so bad. So, and I think that spurred me to sort of regain my motivation of being intrinsic rather than extrinsic. And it was very it was hard. It took time for me to like
work back out of that.
Yeah, change that mindset. You know, it's like I was working out for 3 hours a day. I was eating 1,200 calories a day, but I was burning 1,200 calories a day.
Yeah.
Plus just whatever I burned just being awake and alive, right? So for me, that was like a really pivotal moment, not just in my fitness journey or whatever, but like really in my life. Because a lot of the things that I learned from that experience were really positive. And it wasn't just things about fitness in general, but about myself. And like, what is motivating me? And what is making me happy? And why do I like going to the gym? I remember, you guys, it's all coming out now. I'm sorry.
No.
I remember I would like sit on my floor and cry before I had to go to the gym. Just cry. And then I would like get myself up and go to the gym and do an hour and a half of cardio.
Heck yeah.
Work out for 3 hours, right? And I just would cry about it. And now, you know, it's like it's been a total mindset, and I've really, you know, if anything, I really am grateful for that experience because it really helped me to see the value of fitness and health. But man, it's so important to be balanced. And I was just not finding the balance because, I mean, obviously people do it. Right?
Oh,
I know
yeah.
so many people that do it and compete it. It's amazing. And again, it's so hard. It's so much just beyond like, oh, like you look skinny and you're wearing stripper heels and you're on the, you know, you're on the platform. Like whatever.
It's
so
not
much
just
more
spray
than
tan.
that.
Yeah, it's like
it's so much more
it's a
than
lot.
that. You know, but I think that it took a lot for me to like kind of forgive myself for like not going through with it and realizing that, you know, I would rather do something more like a CrossFit than like an NPC show.
Yeah.
Right? And like what really for me is the most motivating. And yeah, like it feels good to look good and to know that you look good, but I feel like it feels better to be able to like run the fastest mile that I've ever run.
Yeah.
Right? Like, anyway, sorry, I digress. But like,
I
that's
love
like,
that.
like for me, that was just like, and it feels cheesy because like, oh, stupid. But like that was like a really pivotal time in my life. And poor Josh. We had been dating, like we had just started dating when I had like started training for that show.
Yeah, we've only been dating officially for like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah,
oh, man.
And then I started training for my show, and so I would buy him Cafe Rio for dinner as a date, and then I would eat plain chicken with broccoli while he sat next to me and ate Cafe Rio. It was the saddest time of my life.
Yeah, I mean, I can, I guess
jump in, babe.
Yeah, validate everything because. Yeah, as an observer, I could see the physical toll and the mental toll that it was taking on her.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I had to sit her down and have a talk about her buying me food because she was trying to live vicariously through me, right? Like,
right.
But for me, I really enjoy.
I just want to watch you eat.
Yeah,
just chew it a little bit longer.
Yeah. Breathe in my face a little longer.
Like I really enjoy eating healthy. And it probably comes from like my upbringing because we had so many just like quick meals, which is not the fault of my mom or my dad, because I was raised in a single parent home with my mom raising 5 of us kids.
Oh man!
And she's a teacher,
yeah.
So she would go to work, teach school, come home, grade papers and stuff. And just like not have energy or the time or motivation to make dinner.
Plus, she was getting a master's degree.
Yeah, she went back and got her master's degree like while she was, you know, the only one at home with
Wonder
us.
Woman.
And so we had so many dinners that were just like Papa Murphy's Pizza.
Or getting food in your mouth.
Yeah, or like McDonald's for a long time had Big Mac Mondays where Big Macs were only $1 on Mondays, and so she'd go and buy all of us a Big Mac. And so, like, quick, easy, cheap meal for everybody, right? And so, like, fish sticks and lasagna.
It's just resourceful.
Yeah. So, I mean, she did awesome because she would also, like, put corn in different things and, like, open up cans of vegetables and, like, throw those in. So she'd try and make it as nutritious as possible while also being as cost efficient, right?
Totally.
So, for me, having like grilled chicken and broccoli, you know, like
sweet.
That's kind of a treat for me because, like, you know, it wasn't a norm. It's kind of special because the time goes into it, right? As opposed to just like quick.
It's more of an experience.
Yeah, and so I sat Lorin down and I was like, I pretty much had that same explanation and talk with her and said, I really enjoy eating healthy. I know that I'm not like training with somebody and I'm not trying to compete, but I have similar goals. I want to lose some weight. I want to look a little bit better.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me to eat these things too. And I think that was a small piece into her starting to kind of find those things for herself too.
Yeah.
Like realizing that, it didn't have to be as big of a deal or as big of an impact on her as it was. And then I think it unfortunately had to get to like an actual breaking point for everything to kind of just like settle in and then come out from it.
It feels very isolating, because it's like if you don't have like an iron will to not snack, because that's the thing is it's like at a certain week, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks out, depending on your physique, the diet is like unbelievably strict.
Right.
I'm counting down to like the calorie, right? So I like no, licks, tastes, or bites? None. So if you don't have iron will, I can't even go to my cousin's house for family dinners.
Yeah.
Because I don't
can't
know
be
if
around
I can't
that.
resist. I don't know if I'll be able to resist it. So like I can't even, you can't go anywhere. You can't go out to eat.
Socially, I mean, eating's a huge social thing.
Right, and especially like, my family, everything revolves around food and eating food and thinking about food and talking about food. So, so it just is feeling like I just can't. And like the isolation and the deprivation really got to me, which again made me feel like apparently I just like I'm not disciplined and just like can't do hard things. So that's cool. And I think kind of reversing out of it, because when you get on the stage and you stop competing, you do a reverse diet, right? So you add things back in, because if you just go back to how you were, you can gain 30 or 40 pounds in about 3 weeks, right?
Yikes.
So you need to ease out of it. So I was easing out of it physically, but I was easing out of it mentally as well. And I think I did get to that, now where I'm at is, never feeling like I can't have something. And I think that's the real danger of using the word like diet. It's because people feel like I'm going to do this for 6 months, lose X amount of weight, and then just go back to exactly eating what I want, whenever I want all the time, right? Versus like, this is the analogy that we use, which is, when you go to the zoo and you go to the lion pen and you say, well, what's the diet of a lion? The diet of a lion is what the lion eats every day that is the best, most nutritious thing to keep that lion healthy and strong for the rest of its life, right? It is a long-term thing that's a diet. So now my diet includes pizza and chips and candy and whatever I want. Yeah. Right? Whatever I want. But 85 to 90% of it is like good, healthy, clean food that we eat together. And last night we went out and bought a bunch of treats and we watched movies and we ate a bunch of treats. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And that's fine. And that's fine. And it's like, and there are times where it's like, well, I'm probably not going to eat this cake at work because later, like, I want to make cookies and make cookies with Josh. Right? So it is still having some of that discipline to not give in to everything that you want. Just some self-control. Yeah, because I love all the treats. I want to eat treats.
And she makes all the treats.
Yeah, and I want to eat treats all the days, right?
all the days. All the days.
But I shouldn't do that, right? And it's okay to say, look, Lorin, like maybe you shouldn't, I don't know what the heck is up with my office, but there are treats in the office all the time. All the time they're giving us treats. And it's like, it's okay to not have treats right now so that you can have treats later. Yeah. Right? And Josh teases me that I'm afraid of carbs. Yeah. But it's not true. It's not true, but maybe sometimes I want to eat my carbs in like chips and not sweet potatoes. Yeah. Right? So now for me it's a lot healthier and I'm still thinking about what I'm eating, but I'm not like obsessing. Yeah. I'm not obsessing over what I'm eating.
I mean, it's like a relationship. I've always thought of it that way, a relationship with food.
Yeah.
Where you don't want to be too intense that it ruins it. Like, I love you so much. I like, call you every single night and like look through your window like, babe, are you thinking about me? You want to think about a relationship in long term, you know? Be like, hey.
That's what we're dealing with. Is an emotional relationship with food.
Exactly. Like, and that's the thing that's tough is because you just said like socially, or we're hanging out, and we have an emotional connection to food, which is good in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like a relationship, you don't want to become emotionally needy towards food, but you also don't want to be distant. You don't want to you don't want to hate it. You don't want to be so intense, like, oh, my chicken and my broccoli.
Resent it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so there is that middle ground where you're thinking long term, like, hey, I can eat this. I'm not too emotionally attached to it, but I'm still disciplined. I'm not just like, oh, sweet, I'm not emotionally attached. I'll just do whatever I want. I don't care. Just like, I'll just eat, Twinkies all day, every day. That's not good either, because that's not a good relationship.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to the extrinsic and intrinsic thing. It's the same with food. Like, an expression that I've adopted is you either eat to live or live to eat, which is exactly what you just expressed, that you either are living to eat, like, oh my gosh, we're going to go to this nice restaurant. Yeah. They're going to have this there.
Like you've never eaten before.
Appetizers.
I'm going to go eat sushi. They have cheesecake, whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
Or you eat to live, where you're counting macros. I'm getting X amount of carbs, X amount of proteins, X amount of fats, and you're just eating to live, to keep the machine running, right? Mm-hmm. And so there does have to be a balance of both. Same with the extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. Yeah. You have to have both of those forms of motivation to keep you going, because there are going to be days when you don't have that type of motivation, and the other can substitute for it and kind of help you out, which I think it's healthy to have those days where you wake up and you're like, I need to go to the gym because I need to lose some fat, as opposed to I need to go to the gym because I want to feel good. Mm-hmm. And it's the same for food. You have to have some of those moments where I want to eat this because it's my favorite candy.
Because
or it's my favorite treat. I haven't had it for 30 days.
I want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like another time, Lorin and I were just like, we haven't had cereal in so long. Like, what are we doing? We haven't just had cereal. So we just went to the grocery store, bought a box of cereal and some milk, and then just ate it. But the fact that we we don't have sugary cereal every day, and it's something that we hadn't had for months and months and months, like, it's those small things that you can supplement into like the daily routine. And so I think it just kind of plays off of each other.
Well, and that allowed for that to be a treat and a fun experience for you guys.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. And I don't want to cheat on my diet without Josh. That's part of why I don't eat treats at work. I know it's stupid, but I'm like, if I have treats at work, I'll usually save it and then bring it home.
So tender.
It is tender. I have that same thing with Netflix shows and with Maddie. Like, I can't watch the show without her, because then I'm cheating on the show without her.
It's true. I
have to wait till I'm with her till we can watch it together.
Yeah. I have that same mentality, but Lorin doesn't like to watch the things that I like to watch.
Yeah, that's a problem with me and Maddie too.
Because I like all the really dark, gritty, thrilling, depressing stuff, and.
Why do I want to watch something that makes me sad?
Thank you.
You're never more alive than when you feel sad.
What?
No, just kidding.
I completely disagree.
Me and Maddie have that same problem too. She is very much like the.
If there's not a happy ending, what's the point?
Think about an ad for Cheerios. Yeah. That's her favorite movie.
Those are great ads.
I'm not gonna lie, those are great ads. So I'm not trying to discount that or anything.
Interesting.
But no, I go thriller. She doesn't like scary movies. I love scary movies.
I have a hard time with scary movies.
Okay, so you guys can get together and watch scary movies, and we'll get together and watch Disney Plus.
Okay.
It's seriously so funny.
We have 2 TVs, so
it's gotten to the point where if I go out of town without him, he will binge
scary movies, and then I'm alone, and I'm like, freak, this is a terrible idea. Now there's no one here.
And then I get back and he's just dead tired because he hasn't slept in 4 days.
Like me and my brothers will always meet up and watch a bunch of scary movies.
She's out of town.
She's out of town. Turn it on. Watch a bunch of scary ones.
I should probably grow up a little bit.
Probably.
But I mean, I just don't enjoy it.
So I've definitely seen more scary movies in the time that I've been with Josh than all of the other years of my life combined. And I don't know. I just feel like now that we're married, I don't have to impress him anymore. Is that bad? I mean, we still do occasionally, but it's I'm not hurt if he wants to watch a scary movie, and I'll
be upstairs.
Yeah,
for real.
We don't
I'll go
have
sit
to
in the
do
bath.
everything together all the time, which is something that I struggled with a little bit when we were first together.
Yeah.
But you know, I've grown, I've matured in our relationship, and it's fine. It's like if he wants to go and watch a scary movie,
That's
that
totally
is
happened
great,
to us.
But
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. So
We watched
upstairs.
We watched Bird Box when it came out a couple years ago. You guys remember that one?
Which is not scary for most people.
And we're watching it.
I was so
and
brave.
Maddie's like, I really have to use the bathroom. And is just gone the rest of the movie. I'm like, why didn't you just... you didn't want to watch the movie.
But you go
like,
through
are you
that,
okay
right?
in there, babe?
You're just like sitting on the floor, like on your phone, like I'm fine.
Yeah.
Crying in
No,
the
I am really congested. She's just, And after like 45 minutes, I'm like, I don't think she's
I don't think she's coming back. It's like a bad date where they just like go to the bathroom and then just leave.
Just leave for forever. Yeah.
And then we had the hard conversation, and it's just not
We're
something
okay
we
now.
do together
We've
anymore.
recovered. No, but it's true. And she'll, now we've gotten to the stage where like she can watch her show sometimes on her phone. I'll maybe watch my show on my phone. We're still in love. Sure, it's taking a big toll on our relationship.
Maybe some
was
counseling.
rocky there.
Yeah, this is the closest we've been in months. But, it's all for the camera, which is great.
No, that's the purpose of the camera.
Yes.
It's like you're
Forces
allowing
you
us
out.
to be your counselors.
Yes, thank you guys, by the way.
No, his family, they're big movie people. Big movie people. Like, their fun is sitting around and debating about movies, also politics, also...
My brother has like a movie, he writes a movie column.
Yeah.
Which brother are we talking about?
Stuart.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to tell me which one though.
He wrote
He has
for...
7 brothers.
There's a lot of brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote for, what was it called? Movie Pilot, which is like...
Yeah.
He
Very
would write
cool.
for them for a while. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so they're
My
like...
mom would wait to go see movies before.
She would like get his opinion on them and stuff.
That's
So
cute.
cute.
And
So cute.
he's on
We
a
love
mission right
Stuart.
now, and so we'll Skype him, and he's like, "What's out? Like, tell me what's out."
It's like all he wants to hear about.
It's very true. It's super funny.
Anything else, he's like, meh.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because when I am being compared to Maddie and her family, I'm like the most movie-going guy ever. And like we're sitting around like, wow, you've seen so many movies, like you know everything. You're like the most movie guy we know.
Yeah, you
But-
know who was nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Like, every single movie ever.
But it's hilarious to me because when I go back to my family, I'm not that guy.
You're the
at all.
outsider.
I'm like the least movie guy in my own family.
You're like the sports guy.
Yeah, and so like so it's weird when you're pulled out of your family and like you're brought into a new environment. All of a sudden, like, because it's foreign to them, they're like, oh, wow, you know everything about movies. But in reality, I don't. I just know a lot more than they do,
Like, the bar is pretty low, though.
Well, but like, if you come in and you say you haven't seen Back to the Future, which I haven't.
what?
I know.
Yikes.
I'm sorry. This is the response that I get. They're just like, what?
Huh?
Why are you here?
How did you guys get married?
Are you okay?
I love her.
What do you talk about all day?
I was going to ask if you feel like you're going to a newscast.
Yes. Yes. I do.
Sports, movies, politics, you just got
I'm just always on edge, you know? Well, that was another thing that we went through when we first got married is I felt like I had to be in the conversation the entire time. And it's just like, that's what they do when they get together. It's just all 7 boys or 8 boys.
8 boys.
8 boys. And they all just like debate. And my family is so not like that. We're very polite and we have fun, but it's
Polite fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
polite
it's just
fun.
different.
Yes.
Our fun
Everyone
is
in their
not
own
arguing.
corner.
Yes.
Having fun.
Everyone practicing their
We're
cursive.
very close.
Everyone's stacking envelopes neatly. Just kidding.
Every
They are
single
really
one of
fun.
my friends that watches this is going to be like, yeah, whatever.
No, her family's actually, honestly, I guess we'll never know. Your family's actually, in a lot of ways, a lot more fun than my family. This gives a totally wrong idea of what they're like, but they're
My
just
family
very different.
plays together. But your family's play is like sitting and debating a very serious topic and kind of like talking over each other and arguing. And I felt like I had to sit there, when we were first married, like, I'm so nervous. I hope they don't ask me to say something.
I don't know who won the Academy Award in 1998.
But I also wanted them to like me, you know? And so I felt like, oh, I need to join in. And then at a certain point, I was just like, I'll be in the other room.
I had a very similar experience with Lauren's family.
Yeah.
Because, like, same thing. My family is a lot of fun.
Right.
We're all really quirky and, like, we all...
Oh, yeah, sorry.
We all enjoy, you know, like, really nerdy and energetic things, like, whatever, right? But then I met Lauren's family, and it is just, like, it's like organized chaos. Like, they're
just chaos.
Organized chaos.
I swear, whenever we're with at least like 3 of her family members, there are always at least 3 people talking at the same time.
Oh yeah,
like you know,
about not the same things.
Yeah,
Like,
there will be like,
who are you talking to?
There will be a room like this size with like 10 people.
Oh yeah,
and there are 4 different conversations happening,
the cops
all at the same
called.
volume.
But like progressively louder so that we can all hear each other.
exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens in my family.
And they also have a tradition when they're singing Happy Birthday at the end. When they go to cut the cake, right? As you start to cut the cake, everybody screams as loud as you possibly can until you get to the bottom of the cake and finish cutting.
Oh. So somebody has complete control.
Yeah, they can go as slow and it's just yelling and screaming. And like, I'm okay because I socialize very well with people.
He's an extrovert.
Yeah, I'm very extroverted.
Yeah.
So like I fit in well with them, and I've had.
You're a good screamer.
I've had man, like all the choir years and everything just really
Finally
helped
paying
develop
off.
my diaphragm. But we had my mom and my sister over one time for like a big birthday gathering.
Yes.
And I didn't warn my
I forgot to
mom.
warn my mother-in-law that this was happening, and she walked in to just like a wall of screams. And I looked back, and she's like in the corner, like holding a cake, like
fetal position rocking.
I was like, I think I got there just too late to be like, you should cover your ears, and then boom, and I was like,
oh man, that's
hilarious. I don't
hilarious.
think she's come back since. Once she came back one time.
And then afterwards, she just gave me a look like.
Are they okay?
You said this was a happy place.
So, very, very boisterous.
Yes.
But it's a fun energy.
Yeah. And I'd say Josh's family is like, they're fun. They're fun, interesting people, and we play games and stuff, but they're much quieter. And I think it's probably because also there's a lot less of them. Because usually when we get together, when we get together, it's because all my siblings are now in Utah. And there's 5 of us total. This is for Maddie's benefit, not yours.
Right, I had
obviously you remember everything.
I remember every single thing about your family.
Yeah, so there's 5 kids.
I'll just tune this out.
5 kids total, and then we usually get together with all of my cousins.
Right.
And so there's usually like about 15 people.
Love it.
At a time. So
does your family live in Utah now? I thought they moved to Kansas.
My parents still live in Kansas. All of their family is here, but my parents live in Kansas.
What are they doing there?
I don't know.
You're just like, whatever. See ya. Bye.
Look, real talk though, I think that they live there because Adam Diamond is over there.
Right.
And they're prepping for the second coming. So that's
I
smart.
love it.
And they're trying to get all of us to move to Kansas. And
well, the price of land, as soon as Adam Diamond, hits its peak,
it's an investment.
It's going to go way up. That's
celestial
smart.
Real estate, bro.
I bet they're feeling pretty good about their decisions right now.
As soon as the second coming comes, who's laughing then? Right?
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of playing this little game with myself where I'm like, are you telling me, Mom and Dad, that if Josh and I gave you a grandchild, your only grandchild, you wouldn't move back to Utah? Dude. That's what you're saying to me.
Right?
That's what you're telling me is you're like, no, we wouldn't move back to Utah. Like, okay. Alright.
Fine. I guess we don't need to put in the effort.
Yeah, I guess we won't even bother. So, fine. That's how you want to be.
They actually view me as a son-in-law, so I don't.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
He's just her grandma.
Yeah. I couldn't care less about him, so it's fine.
I've noticed that with my family, it's both a lot of boys that are all extroverted and just the
very
quantity. Loud. There's a lot of people. So we have 8 boys, 2 girls, 2 parents. My grandparents live with us, and then my aunt. So that's plus wives, and 3 of us are married. So that's like 18 people. when we don't invite anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And if we invite one of my mom's sisters, they have 13 kids. So it's like all of a sudden we have 30 people. And in Maddie's family, it's Maddie, her parents, her sister and brother. And that's it. And they're none of them
I'm
are
the
really,
oldest, and they're not married yet. So.
and they're not very extroverted. They're not shy, but they're not super extroverted. And her brother was on a mission. So it was just like me, Maddie, her sister, her mom, and her dad, who's one of the most quiet people I've ever met in my whole life.
Yeah.
It's just like me and like these women.
We sound so stupid.
No, they're very, very fun and actually very talkative, but it's just like when you contrast it to walking in, like getting hit by a Nerf, pellet in your face in my house, and then you go to her house, and it is fun. They're very fun and like energetic and exciting people, but the fun is just very different. It's just so weird.
We just listen when the teacher says no talking over it.
That's true.
That's actually a really good point, because pretty much everybody in my family is in education. So, like my mom
they respect
and like
us.
3 out of my
dynamic.
4 aunts, like.
That's funny.
So that makes a lot of sense, actually. But yeah,
Yeah.
my family is like, if one person is talking, everybody
You
is
give your
listening.
attention. Yeah.
My family's a
Yeah,
competition.
they just are like polite. That's
Oh,
all
yeah.
I'm saying. Is they actually are like polite in social settings.
Yes.
And my family's like, let's all talk all at the same time.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is Maddie's family is polite and I hate it. I'm just kidding. No, I actually really enjoy
And I
it.
don't fit in.
They hate me too. No, I love going over there. It's actually really nice because it's nice. Like you start talking and people look at you, and then they're like nod along with what you're saying, and then like you have the floor. Because in my family,
You
it's
don't
like
have to use all your volume at the same
Yeah.
Inside
time.
voices.
This is what it feels to be respected.
I know, so uncomfortable. Like
I get that at work a little bit because I don't know if you can tell, but like when I get excited, my volume definitely increases.
me too. I have to work on that actually because I feel like I annoy
No,
people.
I
So I like
really need to work on it.
I get
For
so
real.
embarrassed when we're on airplanes. Sometimes I'm like, they can hear everything.
literally everything you're saying.
I
Did you
always
see
tell
that bird? Babe, did you see it?
Babe, open the window.
Yeah, we'll be in
Work on
bed
that.
like, and we go to bed early, so we're in bed like 8:30,
Love
9
it.
o'clock,
Yep.
and we're laying there. We're this close to each
Yeah.
other, and she'd be like, "Oh my gosh, there's this thing at work, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "I am right here," and it's 9 o'clock at night.
I actually have really
and
good hearing.
We don't live with anybody else or pets. Like, I promise you, I'll hear you.
He has to tell me that there are certain topics that I'm not allowed to talk about before bed because I rile myself up before bed. You know, like,
I do that too.
Like when
I
you
can't
have
watch
kids-
YouTube too before
Right,
bed because I get too
right.
excited.
It's like if you have kids and you're like, don't rile the kids up before bed. I do that to myself.
Yeah.
Like I'm in bed and I'm like, ugh, and this thing, and Josh is like, honey,
It's
don't
so
rile
true.
yourself up before bed. And you're like,
Let's do some yoga.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So I do that too. I
I know
can't.
my inside voice.
I can't whisper and like do secrets. I'm like, that guy.
He's
is
the worst
so
whisperer.
lame." And then the guy's like looking right at me. I can tell what happened.
The worst whisperer ever.
There's a really funny story actually of Maddie's grandma. So I don't remember what this was for, but we were in the temple, like doing a session like forever ago, and she just like had bad hearing, I think, or something. I don't actually know.
She's
But-
also a terrible whisperer.
Like, I don't remember what was happening. I was kind of zoned out, and
I mean,
the
you're feeling
recording-
spirit.
well, yeah,
Zoned out. You
zoned
were in
out
the
of this
zone.
world into a different.
Yeah.
I was zoned in somewhere, just not
Sure.
here.
Zoned into a different plane.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. And I like get brought back to reality by like this voice, and I'm on the guy's side. So it's like she's not even close to me. And like, doesn't he look like Mike Ditka? I'm like, what the heck? And so I didn't know it was her. So afterwards we're talking. And I'm like, yeah, some lady so loud was like talking about Mike Ditka, and she like turns red, and it was her. Yeah, she's a terrible whisperer. It's so funny.
Fit right in.
Yeah, she thought
Also,
the
who's
man's
Mike
voice.
Ditka?
He's a football coach from the 80s.
Big football guy.
Just a football coach that she
The
thought that
Bears. Yeah.
someone looked like him, I guess.
No, she thought the voice sounded like him.
Oh,
I don't know.
yes. And she had to let everyone know.
I love that girl.
Vitally important.
She knows her football. What can I say?
That's awesome.
No, but it's true what you said about going to bed. Like, I am super a night owl, and I get very excited at night, and I like watch movies. I'm like, oh, let's go live this out in real life. And then,
Let's go live this out.
like, Maddie, I'm James Bond, come on. And she never wants to play it with me, but whatever. It's called role play.
Ew.
And we do a couple of Harry Potter ones that are pretty fun. Ron and Harry.
Yeah. She's like, I'm leaving right now.
Funny, but when we first got married, I thought we were so similar.
No, not at all. And then she's like a super goes to bed early, gets up really early. She's
10:30 on the dot every single night.
Which is pushing it. If it was up to her, it'd be like it'd probably be 8:30.
Yeah.
But we met somewhere in the middle of my 3 a.m. and her 7 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same with us.
I'm just a morning person. I like the mornings.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's crazy. It's literally like 10:32 every single day. I'd be like, she'll start doing this, no matter what's happening. And I know exactly what time it is because I'm like, oh, it must be 10:32. I can see her fading.
It's weird. It is.
It must be 10:32.
It's weird. It's true.
But that's like when you turn on. That's
Yeah.
like when your mind starts going crazy and you get riled up like you're talking about. And
It's
I'm
getting
like,
turned
I
up at
can't.
10:32.
I can't.
Mhm.
Yeah. We did. So when Josh and I very first met, he didn't work until like 11:30 in the morning.
Dang.
And so he worked from like 11:30 to 8:30. So he would stay up till like 2, 3 in the morning. You know,
Yeah.
he'd still get 8 hours of sleep, and I was still waking up early to go to the gym. So I was like in bed by like 9 o'clock.
Right.
Mhm.
And so when we started dating, I flipped my schedule so that I could see him
Actually
more.
see him,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I switched it so that I would go to the gym. First of all, I just want to say that like I really like him because I wouldn't just do that for anyone. I know that sounds stupid, but like my schedule is my schedule.
Ooh,
Yeah.
babe,
Like-
you like me?
Yes.
And then when we got married, I mean, now he gets up and goes to the gym with me at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So, because I didn't tell him to do that.
Oh, how
He
the
did
turntable.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Just so that we can like spend more time together. And I think it's it's important to find somebody that fits with your lifestyle,
Mhm.
you know, or that you can compromise and find a lifestyle that works for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
You know? And I think especially just kind of dabbling back into our fitness conversation, if fitness is a lifestyle for you and eating healthy and all that stuff is a lifestyle, it's very difficult to be in a relationship with somebody that like isn't into that
Yeah.
as much as you are. You
Yeah.
know? So I think, just him being willing to. There wasn't really a compromise because he just like followed my schedule, and I was fine. It's like, babe, if you want to stay up late, that's fine, but I'm gonna go to bed at 8:30. So So we try and go to bed pretty early, but even on the weekends, so like on Friday nights, I mean, I still got up at 4 o'clock on Friday, right? So at like 8:30 or 9 on Friday, I'm like, okay.
You're still tired.
Yeah, can we go to bed now? He's like, but it's Friday. We can stay up. It's like, but we don't have to. Like, just because we can doesn't mean that we like have to do it. And I felt that way for so long. Like after I graduated from college and got like a 9 to 5, and I was like, I don't have like homework or anything to do right now. So it's like, should I just stay up? Should I just stay up now? I probably should, right? Because I can. And then I like reached this point of liberation where I was like, it is 7:30 on Friday night, and I'm getting ready for bed.
I can go to bed.
Because I'm so tired.
It's okay.
Like, I'm not gonna make myself stay up late just because I can. And I have never been older in my whole life. I've never been more like a grandma than on like Saturday nights at like 8:30. I'm like, yeah.
But you've also never been happier.
I've never been happier. I've never been more well rested than I am now.
That same kind of thing happened with me with the whole like work from home thing. Because I'm like, oh sweet, I don't have to commute. Because I work in Lehigh, but we live in Salt Lake, so it's 45 minutes every morning.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't shower anymore, so there's another.
Who needs to do that?
There's another 2 minutes out of my day. And so like you
should complain to HR.
I know, right?
And so now when it gets it's nighttime, like I don't have to get up for work. Like I work here.
Yeah.
Let's stay up. And so for like a couple of days, we'd like stay up super late, and then I'd just be tired all day the next day. I'm like, you know what? I don't have to stay up just because I can.
Right.
I can actually just make the decision I want to make because I want to make it, not because I finally have the opportunity to stay up.
I'm a little bit in the middle because if I have the opportunity, most times I'm like, I'm going to stay up. Yeah. One, because it's like, I can, like I have to. But two, then I recognize that it's an opportunity to watch all the movies that Lauren doesn't want to watch.
Exactly.
Or to play video games and not feel bad that she's sitting there like looking at her phone and not doing something together.
I will say fully that I am not like a regular wife. I'm a cool wife. I don't mind if Josh plays video games. I actually had a conversation with him about it. I was like, babe, you should play more video games. Please.
I really don't play a lot of them. Like
he doesn't.
there will be like months at a time that I don't even like turn on my Xbox or whatever, you know.
Right.
He goes through phases.
Yeah. So typically I'll just kind of seize the moment, you know? Or like if she still has to go to work, but I got it off because it's not like a national holiday or whatever, right? Like then I'll use that as like a binge watch day or something.
Yeah.
It's like I can't. So I kind of take those moments when I stay up later and she doesn't.
I just feel like it's such a bummer because I bought him so many video games and those suckers are expensive.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm like, you haven't even played Red Dead Redemption in like 4 months. Okay? What the heck?
I want to see it on the TV now.
I want to see you play this game.
You will play this game.
And you will enjoy it. Was that when I bought you Battlefront Star Galactica? Battles Earth. What is it?
Battlestar Galactica Earthbender.
Earthfield Halo.
No, you
what
bought,
is it?
You bought
Sport
PUBG.
Ball.
Players Unknown Battleground.
That one. It had to be in
Yes.
it. Battleground. That's what I bought him. He hasn't played it yet.
I have too played it.
I keep a little marker in my journal for every time you play a video game. Very low.
Every time you appreciate the gifts I've given you.
I've given you.
I think this reminds me of your relationship with food as well. Like coming from the like your mom is very health conscious and very, I mean, she does not, she's like the least emotionally attached person to food I've ever met in my life.
Function, more than anything. Not so much healthy as it is function, because she has to feed a lot of people very quickly. True. And so she's really good at like, okay, how do I take these ingredients that I have and make the best thing possible as fast as possible? She's a good cook, and the stuff she makes is but more than anything, she's a very fast and efficient cook, and like she can make a ton. Yeah, but she's not emotionally attached in the way that
my family, we for sure have an emotional relationship with food. And so when he came into my family, I mean, you open up the pantry and it's like snacks.
Oh,
we're like
so great.
The most snacky people that have ever lived. But like when we sit down to eat a snack, it's like, oh, we'll have like a couple chips or something. when there's any kind of snack brought into your family, it's like ravaged.
Oh, it's like survival of the fittest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like, give me that. I used to.
And it doesn't matter who brought it.
No joke. I used to go when I was a little kid and
even
get
if you
cookie
want
dough. And I would like go into the freezer and steal cookie dough, and I would hide it around the house so that I could eat it later. And I'd go back and eat it. Seriously. I'm not kidding. I've got tons of stories like that. Like I remember one time my mom got us hot Cheetos. We didn't like get a lot of treats when we were kids. Yeah. I got hot Cheetos at the gas station, and I was like, oh, sweet. So
jackpot!
I literally kept them on the side of my bed for like weeks, and every day I'd open it up right before bed, just like eat a couple and then close it again, like so excited. Like, I wasn't even neglected. Like they were normal parents, but I just like loved snacking so much.
That happened in my family too, because you know we had 4 boys and then a girl, and so there's 5 of us, and then my mom. My mom actually, to this day, still hides all of her snacks and stuff in her bedroom. None of her kids
live at home anymore, and she like hides them in her room.
Yeah, just in case any of them
so
come
she'll
over.
have like a can of Pringles
it's
and
mine.
just like various things like in her nightstand. Like
it's so funny.
Because if it was in the pantry, it'd be gone. Like we would just devour
That's
it.
So funny.
And the same thing, like we didn't really get a lot of like box cereal is not a thing in our house. Mm-hmm. Like anything like that. So for us, it was like a treat. Yeah. If it was there. So if there was a bag of Lay's chips, like it was gone in a day. Yeah. You know.
I mean, my family was the same way. We were not like big into treats and snacks, but my cousins were. And I can't decide which is not worse, like which is a better
what I want to do as a parent either.
You know,
I don't know.
Josh and I literally had a discussion. We're like, are we gonna be a snack family? Like,
seriously.
Like, I don't know, because
it's a big decision.
Yeah,
because you either are or you aren't.
Or you're not.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like my family, we never had treats, and then when we go to my cousin's house, they had like Oreos. Oh. They always had Oreos, and I was like, what
Why aren't you guys eeting
these?
these?
Why are these still
What's
here?
wrong? Are they okay?
And
they have
always
regular
had treats
Oreos
snacks.
and mint Oreos.
Right. Double stuff. It was amazing. They always had treats, and I was like, you know, like, can I have a treat? She was like, help yourself. Like, and then you just take all the treats, right? And
I used to steal treats from my friend's house all the time, for real.
Had them around your house.
Yeah.
So you could eat later.
Yeah, I really did that. I'm dead serious.
But so, you know, but like my cousins are like healthy, fit people, right? And they always had snacks. So I don't know if it's better that you never have snacks or that you always have snacks, because then it's like whatever, right? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, like we always have Oreos, so I'm fine. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder that all
you
the
know?
time.
I don't know which is better.
So like in my own family, snacks is a good example. Also video games. We didn't have any video games growing up.
Yeah.
And some of my siblings have become like hardcore gamers.
Okay.
And some of us don't game at all. Like me, I suck at video games. She actually forces me to play so that she can dominate me in Mario Kart.
It's the only game we have, but I love Mario Kart.
She's really good at it.
I
So-
do dominate him.
Okay,
as well.
I usually get second place, which is pretty good. And it's true though. It's a good question. Like, do I not expose them and risk them being like obsessed with it?
Right.
Or do I expose them and then risk them being obsessed with it anyway?
Right, yeah.
But maybe they'll get desensitized.
Right.
We're gonna mess them up no matter what we do.
Yeah, we're
Well, the
just.
first one's always practice. So.
Yeah, honestly, we don't really care.
Practice one.
Well, a couple of kids down the line will really start.
You'll figure it out. Yeah.
I have a really embarrassing snack stealing story that I would
so
like to
ready.
share.
Oh, wow. Crap.
Also, I just remembered, we were at your house a long time ago. You guys had the most amazing bean dip, and I never thanked you. So, it just popped in my head. So, thank you. That was the best bean dip ever. It was like 15 years ago. Anyway, where was I?
Good memory, dude.
No, seriously, I remember
Snack
like
hiding.
everyone was outside playing whatever. It was like
Oh,
someone's
no.
birthday. It was when I was a little kid, like, I don't know, 6th grade or whenever. And I just, the whole time, I was like, I'll come play in a minute. I was eating the bean dip. So thank you. Thank your mom for me. So, snack stealing. Had a friend. He lived right next to us. I will not say his name. If he ever hears this, he'll know it's him though.
Because all of his Doritos are missing one day.
For years. No, it's even more embarrassing. This is when I was in like, okay, I want to say like third grade, maybe around that age, 2nd grade, somewhere in there. And we'd go play at my friend's house all the time. And his sister had like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, I think it's from New York or Las Vegas or something. They sell like suckers that are more of like a
This is really embarrassing.
what's that word when you go somewhere and you get
Souvenir.
something? Souvenir.
Yeah.
They have like souvenir suckers.
Oh, okay.
And they're like this big.
Yeah.
And so you don't eat them. They're huge. And it says like, I Heart NY on it. Like I got this sucker in New York City. And so I literally would sneak into her room every time we were hanging out. And I would like open it up. And I would lick the sucker and then close it and then run out for like years. Maybe not years, but months. And I just like lived in constant dread. They're like, why is this side so lopsided from my souvenir I Heart New York? Oh, can you imagine how embarrassing? And it makes it sound like my parents like didn't feed us. Like, no, we had snacks. Like we had a fine childhood, nutritious, whatever, but like we weren't snacky.
Something about that.
And so I would just like go in and like, oh, I have to like lick this while I still can. Yeah. It's pretty embarrassing, but yeah. I never told anyone that
Panic,
either.
desperation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
man,
tasty.
Just gotta get those snacks.
And her family is that way too. They've got tons of snacks and none of them, except for your dad, are very snacky.
I think that if you cut my dad open, he would be one
Full of
giant
snacks.
gummy bear.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously.
It's so funny.
So funny snack story from my dad, my super fit dad. So they moved to Kansas, and Leanne and Levi still live with them because they were younger, so they didn't move out or anything. And
Do you all have L names?
we do.
That's
Logan,
so
Lacey, Lauren, Leanne, Levi.
Cute. Okay. keep
And
going.
Leanne, they were supposed to be going to like a youth activity, but for whatever reason it got canceled. So she was home when she wasn't supposed to be home.
Oh.
My dad walked into the house and his arms are filled with chocolate, and he was like, "What are you doing here?" And she was like,
You're supposed to
"What
say
are
this.
you doing?" And he has chocolate chocolate that he hides in his bedroom and that he eats when nobody is there.
That's so
and he
funny.
has his secret chocolate, but she found him out, and so he had to share his chocolate with her.
That is so funny.
My mom was like, yeah, I was like doing laundry or something, and I found all this chocolate in like a drawer. And I was like, well, my dad is a squirrel.
I don't know whose it is. It just ended up there.
I don't know how it ended up here. So my dad just like sneaks chocolates into his bedroom and eats them.
That's so funny.
And he can eat like, and he eats like bad. I don't even know. I'm so bitter about it because when we were both training for our show and I was like starving myself and working out for 3 hours and doing cardio, he was like, "Oh yeah, I had a whole bag of chips today." He's like,
okay,
he's
jerk.
like, I really need to dial in. I had to do like 10 minutes of cardio today.
I can still smell the Doritos in your breath.
No. Yeah, and he's just like, yeah. I think I get my snacks from my snacking from my dad. My dad likes to snack.
When we were younger, because we didn't have snacks in our house, we had to improvise. So
What does that mean?
we
Just ate dirt.
Yeah.
well, I mean, not too far off. No, we would get packages of ramen and then smash it up.
Yes,
and
that's what we did too.
Put it in a plastic bag and then take the seasoning out and then it's like chips, right?
Finally, someone understands me.
No, yeah, ramen dry forever. I never had cooked ramen until I was probably like in high school.
I'm dead serious. Same here. I was like, oh wait, what are you supposed to do with this stuff?
You're supposed to boil it? What?
Like, what are you doing with my ramen? You ruined it.
But then we would get like a tortilla and we'd spread butter on it and then pour cinnamon and sugar on it, stick it in the microwave, and then roll it up and eat it. Kind of like a churro.
That's
right?
really good, actually.
Actually,
Delicious. Super delicious. But then I was reminded about all of these because you said that you would like go and hide in your house and like eat the snack. We would, because we didn't have like candy or anything, we would grab like the frozen concentrate, like orange juice from the freezer, and we would go hide behind like a chair and
just eat it like a
spoon
popsicle.
It out. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Just like
that stuff is so strong.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so strong.
Yeah.
It's like
So yeah, like it's like a popsicle. We would just like like carve it out and then like.
Oh my god.
I relate to that so much. We used to.
There are a lot of stories like that.
So I remember one time we were so hungry. My parents were gone. They were coming back at night for dinner, but like we didn't have any snacks in the house. So me and my brother.
Can you imagine having to feed 10 children every night?
No, I don't blame them, but
we are not doing that.
Me and my brother Brad, we just like, we have to find something. So we went and got these hard taco shells and just like put chocolate chips in them. Like, put it in the microwave and just like had choco tacos, you know, like they were good.
You have to do something. So.
They were pretty good. We'd put chocolate chips in like in ice cream cones and eat that, chocolate chips, and we didn't have any that day, unfortunately. We just had it with like taco shells.
I mean, it's
not
almost
bad.
like a chocolate covered potato chip.
Yeah,
right?
which sounds good,
the
right?
chocolate is sweet, the salty and sweet.
Do they have chocolate covered potato chips?
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That
Chocolate
is a
potato
thing.
chips.
All right.
It's similar to like probably like a chocolate covered pretzel, just like with the salt.
Might bring back some trauma for me, so I'll stick away.
Some trauma.
But we did, oh my gosh, we did that kind of stuff all the time. Your concentrate story reminded me.
Oh,
so
no.
she knows what I'm going to say.
No.
We use that concentrate as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like we would always, you know, whoever
When
made
they
the
were
juice when we were kids, it was like a badge of honor. If you made the juice, you got to actually use the concentrate, because they came in like those cans, as a cup, as like your sign that you made the juice.
That's
and my
cute.
Yeah, my parents always did that.
Cute.
And I was like, okay, like you get the special cup, so like my cup says apple juice on it, and like you drink the apple juice from it, you know. And so it was really
so
cool.
Envious.
Yeah, I was super envious. I'm sure my parents were like so jealous of that. And I remember this one time, we'd had breakfast. It was apple juice. My brother had made it, and we'd already finished. And we were cleaning up, and I saw that he left his apple juice container on the counter with the apple juice still in it. And I was like, oh, well, okay, you may have made it, but I'm gonna drink your juice, boy, you know. And so I go over to drink it. Little did I know it was actually bacon grease in the apple juice container, but it looks a lot like apple juice.
Oh,
and since it's in that container and it's so dark, you know, unlike a normal cup, there's no light coming in, so I was like, I couldn't really tell. So I drink like an entire thing of bacon grease.
You drank the whole thing?
He gulped it.
After like 6 or 7 gulps, I'm like, well, this tastes a little weird. Whatever. No, I don't know how much I drank. I was pretty young, but it was more than most people would have drank. I'll leave it at that.
More than most people should probably
It was more than one gulp.
You started, realized it wasn't orange juice, kept going because you realized it was something you liked,
Yes.
and then you stopped because you actually realized what part of the thing you liked it
No,
was.
I don't
Yeah, I was like, oh, bacon. Yeah, not a good drink.
Not a good drink. Liquefied bacon.
Eesh.
They have baking soda.
Ooh.
They did have bacon soda. That was unfortunate.
It's
Bacon.
gross.
Ranch soda.
Ooh, that's
Do
too
they have
bad.
ranch soda?
Ranch soda.
Buffalo wing soda.
Are you serious? Is it Jones?
No, it's.
I haven't
It's
tried
just
that.
like some kind of
That's
like a
something.
vintage soda. You could find it at like a vintage candy store. I'm specifically thinking of the one at like the Gateway.
Rocket
Yes.
Fizz.
It's like-
Yes.
We used to live right across the street from there.
That's where I was remembering that because we'd walked through there a couple times.
Jones had the Thanksgiving dinner one.
Mm. Sounds very Willy Wonka to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would dare risk it.
No,
You know?
I don't think so.
Can't turn into a blueberry right now.
Not right now. Not today. Not good for me.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me.
I love that we talked about our favorite topic, snacks.
Oh yeah, I've been dying to talk about snacks.
I do love snacks. Here's the thing, though. When I went to college, right? Moved out, went to college, and I had this moment of realization. I was like, I could go out right now and buy a cake.
Yep.
Eat that whole cake, and nobody gets to tell me no.
Yep.
But it's really important that you have someone in your life to tell you no. And I think that's why marriage is so important because
Really, Lauren? The whole cake?
and it's not a judgment thing. It's like I know that you really want to do that, but you probably shouldn't do that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you make really good points.
I can't tell you how many times she said we should bake a cake.
And eat a whole cake right out of the pan.
Yeah.
We have done that. Maddie, she made a cake for our friend the other day. And they came over and ate it with us. It was for his birthday, and then they left. So we had like a whole cake minus 4 pieces. So we put it in the Tupperware, and I just like out of the Tupperware,
Yeah, this wasn't
literally
as much
like
we
ate
did
the
this.
entire thing.
You did this.
Quarantine life, yeah.
That's the thing, though.
Quarantine life. The quarantine 15.
Yes.
I'm not sure that
1450.
really works for us though. Like me eating more, I think gives you permission to eat more, and you eating more gives me permission to eat more.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's
we
true.
don't really do that for each other. Like, really, you're gonna eat all of that?
No,
It's like, is he gonna
we
eat more?
perpetuate. We're enablers. And her family, oh my gosh, back to her dad. For Christmas, we got him, for his Christmas present, a like 2-foot
5-pound blue gummy shark.
gummy shark. And he loved it.
It was like $35.
That's like, and he's like, this is the greatest present
He
I've
like,
ever had.
he like cuts it into steaks. He eats it with a fucking knife.
That is like amazing.
He's the coolest guy. And we got him like a big bag of gummy bananas, and he's just like eating them.
All of the
I'm
gross
assuming he loves
candy.
gummy candies.
Yeah.
It's like his
He is a
favorite
gummy
candy.
Also,
candy guy.
side note, he is a very skinny man. He does not, he can eat and eat and eat. He does not
He's
gain
very
any
fit.
weight.
Yeah.
He's very fit, very skinny, and I'm like,
He's a jerk.
Going,
What the heck?
going back to our whole health discussion. So my cousin, he's probably a good 5 inches taller than me. I think he's like
6'4".
yeah, he's like 6'3", something like that.
6'4".
Wow.
And thin, but he looks lean. Like he doesn't look like too skinny, right? Doesn't look like just bone. But he went to donate blood, and they rejected his blood because there was too much fat in his blood.
What?
Yeah.
Because he
Okay.
eats Taco Bell every day.
Because
Right.
because he would eat Taco Bell like literally every day, and like just drinks tons of soda and everything.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And
So much so
Lauren
that they
and I-
rejected his blood.
Yeah.
yes, he could not donate blood because
Too much fat.
yeah, there was too much fat in his
I've
blood.
never even heard of that. I didn't know that was a
So
thing.
like that, we had a whole discussion about it because like we have a lot of health discussions, and our lives kind of revolve around
Yeah.
fitness and health in general. So that was just like a real life like living example that like just because you look thin or you are lean or
It does
whatever,
not mean
like,
you're
it
healthy.
doesn't mean you're healthy. Yeah,
Yeah.
health is
Right.
much more than skin deep, right?
Right.
Just being skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully, hopefully he doesn't have diabetes.
No, yeah, I'm sure there's something going on. There's no way there's not something.
It's so interesting.
Going
They
on.
like look at it and it's just like goopy or something. Is this an otter pop? No, that's my blood.
Who's working at the blood donation thing that's like definitely an otter pop? Definitely gonna drink that.
It's like, I think this is an otter pop. Where did you put this needle?
Okay, but that begs the question, because like obviously, you know, we're all grown adults that can do what we want, right? But at the same time, at what point, you know, Josh can't donate blood because his blood is too fat, then I'm like, okay, you don't get to eat that.
Right.
Right? You know, like that I control his diet or whatever because I'm worried about you.
Yeah.
Right? Like I love you and I want you to be around for a while and you don't get to eat that right now. You know? So like where do you think like I don't know.
That's a tough question. I actually have always wondered that because we never had to deal with that because usually we're all on the same page.
Ooh.
Oh yes. Nice. Some healthy snacks. Here's one for you and one for me. That's all I'll have today. Okay.
That's if. It's a good grape.
So she's been very down the obsessive healthy route. She was well, you can tell them. What did you do that was athletic when you were younger? Go ahead. Now that you have a grape in your mouth. No, now that you're pregnant and you can't lift 300 pounds anymore.
I did track like all throughout high school, and I ran in college, and it was really fun. Is that what you wanted?
Yes. Great job. Sorry I put you on the spot. I just wanted time for more grapes.
Like sports were my life throughout high school. Yeah. I went to college for track. I didn't go to like major in something. Sure. I went
major in track.
Was not good. It was not good, but I was not looking for like the best college academically. I was looking for the college with the best track team.
Yeah.
What did you do in track? Did you do?
I did triple jump and then I did the heptathlon. So I kind of did like. Have you heard of the decathlon? Yeah. It's like 10 events. They don't let girls do the decathlon, which I think they just started in the Olympics doing the decathlon for girls, which I think is so stupid. I like the decathlon way better. But they do 7 events instead of 10 for girls in college.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So I did like pole vault and javelin and the mile and sprinting and jumping. Amazon. No, I am not. I did feel like an Amazon when I was throwing the javelin. Fun fact, one time I like clipped my ear.
No.
I didn't know that.
I feel like I've told you this story before. Yeah, one time in an actual meet, I like clipped my ear. And it didn't pierce me or anything, but it was really scary.
Ouch. Oh my
god. That is so scary.
Yeah, but that was my life.
You can tear your ear off.
Oh yeah.
Have people done that? Is that a thing that
I mean, yeah, people have been speared by javelins before, like straight up.
Back in the day,
they're just
that's
like walking along the field and
someone goes wide.
It's happened. Like, it still happens to this day. I mean, really.
I shouldn't be fun of that. That's terrible.
Yeah, but it was really fun, and that was like competition was my whole life. Yeah, and it was really fun. And then I went on a mission and came home and got married, and I'm a has-been now.
No,
got pregnant.
Are you doing anything like for like pregnancy fitness? Anything?
Just at-home workouts. Yeah. Funny story. We started CrossFit the day after we found out I was pregnant. I was like so hyped. I had bought new shoes. I was so excited because we were going to the gym, but I missed competition, and like that is huge for me. I don't know why. I hate writing my own workouts. I wish that I was someone that like I need a personal trainer. I wish that I was someone that loved writing my own workouts, but I'm just not. Yeah. And I like to go and feel competitive with people, and I missed that in my life. And so we were like, let's do CrossFit. Heck yeah.
Let's try it out. Yeah.
Yeah. I went and puked my guts out.
Oh. Yeah, we signed up before we found out we were pregnant. Like we signed up the next day. Found out we were pregnant, and then the third day was Good CrossFit that we signed up for. So we're like, well, you're pregnant. Let's try it out. And she won, which was cool. Props to that. Yeah. And then immediately went and threw up. We love the new shoes, but now
everything they tell you about pregnancy is like, don't start doing anything you weren't doing before. I'm like, gosh, it's been like 2 years since I've done anything. So.
Everything is new. at this point, okay?
Yeah. But yeah, we got a jogger stroller, so I'm very excited to get back into things when baby comes.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like if there's anything that I've learned throughout like my own fitness journey is that it literally is never too late to start something.
right.
Because I never did anything physically active until high school. I never had any like junior leagues or sports or nothing. And even in high school, I only took a weightlifting class. Like, and that was it. So,
Right. Yeah.
you know, like 2, maybe 3 times a week. And then I got into rock climbing after my mission. And so I avidly rock climbed for like 2 years. I went 3 times a week to the rock climbing gym.
Awesome.
And then I started going into like an actual gym and lifting weights and doing like athletic training with my friend. And he helped me lose from 200 pounds to like 165.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, in like 6 months.
Dang.
Holy crap.
What were you doing? What kind of workout?
So it was a lot of like athletic workouts. So it was a lot of like on your feet, like weights incorporated, but a lot of like box jumps and
That's awesome.
like plyometric type things. He had grown up playing like lacrosse and everything, and he's just super fit and
More dynamic movement.
So he helped me through that, and that's kind of when I started building that intrinsic motivation like within myself.
Right.
But then from that point, I pretty much just like lifted weights for 3 years, like going to the gym consistently, like 3 times a week minimum. Mm-hmm. To this day, I don't know if there's been like a week of my life that I haven't been to the gym, at least 2 or 3 times.
That's
like,
so awesome.
Including vacations.
Yeah.
We spent a stupid amount of money on gym memberships when we went to Europe. Man, those freaking Europeans and their expensive gym memberships. Dang it.
That's funny. I didn't think about that.
But last year is when I did my first strongman competition, and that was the first time I've done anything that was competitive. Mm-hmm. Anything that, well, I should say physically competitive, because like I did choir and stuff, but that doesn't count.
Right.
Say what?
Yeah.
So it was the first time that I actually experienced that competition, and it was just an amateur event. There were no rewards. There wasn't even any like weigh-ins. Mm-hmm. Like you didn't have to meet a certain structure or whatever, right? But then from then I did a powerlifting competition just like a month ago.
So fun.
Really?
And
that's awesome.
And that one was like an actual like sanctioned event.
Yeah.
Through the USPA. Like there was weigh-ins, everything was judged. Like
that's awesome.
Ticky-tacky little rules, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And yeah, it's awesome. And it's just gotten to the point where like to feel that competitive nature against myself, like trying to beat what I've done before and just continue like progressing, like it's awesome. And it's crazy that I have never done anything close to this, nor would I even think that I would at any point in my life prior.
Yeah.
Like even when I was going to the gym consistently and lifting weights for like 3 years straight, I never like even wanted to deadlift more than 200 pounds. Mm-hmm. You know, I wasn't like, I'm totally going to do that.
Right,
like,
right.
There's no point, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought back then. But now it's like, the point is that I can, and I want to see if I can.
Yeah.
Right? Like I want to be able to, I want to push those boundaries. I want to push myself and see what I'm capable of doing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that stems from the fact that I haven't done anything like it before. You know, it's like, well, this is untapped potential. Like, who knows what I'm capable of? Because I literally don't know.
It's such a good feeling to see yourself improve in something. I think that is probably the most like fulfilling feeling I've ever had.
And addictive.
Addicting in like a good way, I guess. It could be in a bad way, I guess, in certain situations. But the feeling that you're getting better at something, you're like, oh wait, how good could I be at this? Yeah. I love that feeling.
That's why I loved track so much. It's the same thing that you said about CrossFit. Like I loved being able to best myself, and that it was less about my competition and relationship to other people and more about me beating myself. I don't know. And I just thrive off of competition. It's so fun.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, and I mean, you know, I think that competing against other people is great. We're not allowed to play games together because I'm very competitive and I yell at
Yeah, we have a hard time with that too.
I'm competitive. I'm competitive, but
yeah.
you know, so like competing against other people is good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but again, you know, it can be, you know,
totally
sucks to lose, and if you don't have the right mindset, you just never try again.
Yeah.
Right? You lose and you never try again.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that, because like obviously with CrossFit, like they do have like the CrossFit Games, and you're competing against other people, obviously, but you know, I mean, at the same time, like you are competing against yourself.
Yeah, the actual workouts themselves. You don't really get in like basketball or volleyball or something like that because it's more of a team sport. It's more about beating the other team, and you don't have personal stats or anything. I mean, I guess you do, but I don't know. I think about that a lot actually. People that I see that I went to high school with that kind of are under this myth that if you didn't play sports in high school, then you're just not an athletic person, or you're not into fitness, you know. And it's like so opposite. And I love those people that I see that didn't ever play anything in high school that have now like created a life around fitness that are killing it and look better than those that did play.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I've noticed a weird pattern, and again, this might just be my small sample size of people that I know personally, but I knew a lot of people that were really into it when they were younger, like in high school, and then got older and maybe they got burned out, or maybe they just I don't know what, but now they are not fit at all.
Right.
And a lot of the people that I know that are the most fit discovered it a little bit later in life. I wonder if
there's a pattern there.
Yeah, if there's a pattern.
Yeah, there's a pattern. And I wonder if part of it is because, you know, I think a lot of times because sports count as extracurriculars, and you do extracurriculars to go to college.
Yeah.
So like once you pass that phase, either you go to college or you don't, and it like doesn't count anymore. Like it doesn't matter that you did football or track or whatever. No, it doesn't matter.
No,
right?
it's true.
Totally. Now you're 27, 20, 30 years old, and you're like, well, does it matter that I did football in high school? Like, did I even like it? Right? The reason that I did football, right? If you're extrinsically motivated because I need to get a football scholarship to go to college.
Right.
Yeah.
And then now that time has passed, and now you're like, well...
And literally no one
cares. Did I even really like it?
Right.
Did I even like
It's a good question. It makes you think, like, did I really like football, or even did I really like track? Or was the first friend that I made in junior high into football, so I went with him? And
now apparently I do football.
Now I've been doing football. Yeah, I mean, it is interesting to think about that, you know?
Yeah.
Like you think that you ended up the way you did because you just like certain things, but who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, I happened to sit next to one of my best friends who played basketball. I'd never played, and then I ended up playing basketball till now, and I love it. And he played it, brought me into it.
And all you wear is Michael Jordan.
All I wear is Jordan.
Not a sponsor.
Yet. And so it's interesting to think about, you know, like, shoot, like, do I actually like this? Or is it just, I would have liked anything.
Well, and now...
And this is the one thing I ended up doing.
Yeah. Now we're buying Michael Jordan onesies for our son.
We're passing it on to the next generation.
Shoot.
Well, I mean...
He's just going to think basketball is life.
In print on Michael Jordan.
Yes, exactly.
Well, and that's something that I wonder, you know, now that again, part of it is probably because when you're in junior high and high school, your parents pay for those. But now that I'm an adult, right, I have to pay for it myself. Yeah. So, like, you know, so what is something that and that's something that I've actually been thinking about is, I'm like, I think I need a hobby. I need a hobby other than, like, going to the gym and going to work. And so I've been thinking, but I'm like, in my own mind, I'm like, I'm too old. I can't.
They've already passed.
I can't start and to try new things.
I think that too.
I'm too old to do that, right? And I was talking to Mikkel Curtis, you know, she's one of my best friends, and she, last year, she bought herself a cello.
That's
and
amazing.
She's like, I've always wanted to play the cello, and I have the money, and I have the time, and I'm going to learn how to play the cello. And I was like, you are inspiring me right now, right? So
I love that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to not
buy a cello.
No, not buy a cello. But like the time is weird now because of the quarantine. But one of my coworkers is like, hey, I have a piano. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah. Yes, I do want that piano. So, you know, it's like me thinking, man, I could like do something new. I could learn a new language that I had always wanted to learn but just didn't have the opportunity or whatever, right? Why are you laughing at me? I'm trying to be inspiring.
Because I didn't realize that our discussion of can we get a piano stemmed from your friend getting an instrument and you hearing about that.
I mean, that was a while ago.
My friend got an instrument. I should get an instrument.
Hey, you know what? I've been thinking about finding another hobby, right?
Isn't that interesting though? Like we get into adulthood and we all of a sudden think that we're just in the life that we're gonna live. You know?
We're
like,
set.
I've stopped growing. I've stopped.
Like, okay, this is who I am now.
Yeah,
it is weird.
Change.
It's very weird, and like I think maybe part of that comes from when you're growing up. You have like a grade, and then your next grade, and then your next grade, and then now you're in junior high, and then high school, and then graduating, and college, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I'm there. Now what? I guess this is just till I die.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people have that kind of weird realization around our age, like 20s, mid-20s ish, that it's not over. Like they're not too old. I had thoughts like that too. Like, oh man, I really would have loved to get into that. And I would have really loved to get into running.
Literally in our 20s.
I'm like, this is the healthiest I'll ever be. I'm like, I'm only getting older now. Like, take advantage of it now.
Seriously.
I think that's weird because there are times where I'm like, man, I have never been more adult than I am right now. Like once I paid a bunch of kids to rake my yard. I was like, this is so adult right now because I don't want to do it, so I just paid somebody else to do it.
Did you write them a check?
And they were so excited.
Oh no, she's too far gone.
I know, I'm too far gone. I can't learn new things.
Never mind, don't buy the piano.
But it's like, things like that where, or like realizing as an adult, oh my gosh, no, what's so funny? I read something somewhere, it's like when you're younger, you think that like coffee is an adult drink. And then when you start drinking coffee, you're like, oh, alcohol is an adult drink. And then when you start drinking alcohol and you realize actually the real adult drink is just water.
Yeah.
Like water is the most adult drink that you can have. Right? If you're like, I think I'll just
it's most sensible.
It's like
that's
the
really
most
funny.
adult thing that you can have.
It's cost effective.
Right, it's cost effective, it's good for you, 0 gas, whatever. And so, so like thinking about, I feel like sometimes I do things where I like, it's like a little number goes up in my head and I like leveled up at adulthood.
Yeah.
Like we bought a membership to Costco and it's like,
Yep.
ding!
Yes.
We're like, more adult now.
I remember that moment. I remember
someday.
when we were shopping for car insurance.
Oh, geez.
And I went to my friends at work, like, hey, what car insurance do you guys have? And I'm like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. All of a sudden, I just put on cargo shorts. And I'm on a lawnmower.
Socks and sandals.
Yes, I'm grilling.
Yeah. Grilling.
Exactly. I'm like, what do you guys think about our 401k plan? And I leveled up.
We literally talk about that.
I know,
we
I
talk
do
about
too.
like kitchen appliances. We're like, but like how? Like, but do you like your sous vide though?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you really like it?
Yeah, like going new places and being like, the water pressure here is amazing.
Seriously, you're thinking like, we need that sink. Look at all the different. It does like sprays out like this. It sprays
You're
straight.
like jealous of your friend's washer and dryer or something like that.
Oh my
like
gosh.
what has become
I was
of
like,
us?
we bought a washer and dryer.
Nicely
we own
done.
a washer and also that refrigerator. We own that refrigerator.
Dang.
Yeah.
We own all of this.
Investing.
Well, I know, but like it didn't come with those things.
We
so we
bought
like
that.
went and bought it. Okay.
She's like, we own that fridge.
We own that wall, and that wall, and that wall.
Not that wall. That's a lease.
No, that one's a lease.
Yeah, just weird things like that. And I'm like, man, this is something that I had not anticipated. First of all, can we just talk about how nobody prepared me for how much my adult life would be spent like figuring out what to make for dinner? I tell them this all the time. I hate it. It's the worst thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like things that I had never considered when I was growing up that I do as an adult, and I'm like, why didn't I know this beforehand?
Yeah.
And I feel like like a baby adult. Right? It's like, oh, like surely a more adulty adult will come in and help me with this.
Right.
Like my parents, like, Mom, help me with this thing, please. I don't know what to do.
Uh-huh.
Right? And I feel stupid. I'm like, well, I don't know how to do this. And my mom was like, well, now you do.
Yeah.
Right? And when you have to do it again in 10 years, like buy a house and, go through a real estate agent and blah, 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 then you'll know what to do.
Yeah.
Right?
That's how we feel about having a baby. It's like
Yeah.
our doctor wants to know what our birth plan is, and it's like, someone's gonna tell me what
Like,
is,
surely
right?
someone will tell me. Like,
Yeah.
shouldn't you know that?
Seriously.
You're the doctor. I don't know.
It's so funny. Like, is my dad gonna text me when I need to change the oil in my car?
He's not gonna text me that?
It's like, he's just not gonna remind me?
He's not just gonna do it himself? What?
It is weird to not have an adult, like, more adult than you. Well, it must be weird for Maddie. I actually have Maddie, who's more adult than me. So it's really nice. But, well, it's weird. With us, we're both, like, very adulty in our different spheres. Like, I'm really responsible about certain things. And she's really responsible about other things. Like, she actually does all of our car stuff. She's, like, always, like, the car maintenance. She, like, gets the tires rotated and stuff like that. I don't even know any of that stuff, which is weird. And then
Tell you how to change a tire.
Thank
Aww.
you.
You have 7 brothers. And you
Yeah.
know how to
None of the
change
7 of
tires.
them know either. No, I know, because it's always like, well, my older brother will do it. Well, my older brother will do it. Well, I'll do it. And
Like, Dad will do it.
Yeah, and then Dad will do it. Why would I ever need to learn?
Delegation.
Exactly.
Delegation.
I'm sure one of my brothers knows how to change a
Surely.
tire. But now, yeah, it's funny. Now, like, I wonder if you ever hit the point where you, like, max out. Like, okay, I am an adult now. There's no one more adult than me. You know, because at our age, it kind of always feels like we're pretend adults, you know?
I'm realizing
I'm
that-
living a lie. Like, surely someone, like, the adult fraud police would be like, you're not really an adult.
Yeah.
Go back to high school.
You don't know anything about insurance.
It's kind of cool though. I mean, if you guys ever choose to have kids, like talking to our parents about where they were, especially me because I was the first for my parents, and I've kind of realized as I've come more into adulthood, like, oh, we kind of raised each other, and carrying this child inside of me, it's so weird. I don't know how to explain it to people. I've said it on the camera so many times, but I don't feel like we're giving birth to our child. Like, I don't feel like we're becoming parents. It's really weird. I feel like we're just bringing our little friend into the world that's just gonna, like, figure things out with us. And I don't know if that will serve us well or not.
Yeah.
But I kind of, like, taken the pressure off of, like, we're literally responsible for this child's upbringing and everything, every choice that they ever make.
All the trauma they have is our
fault. We're going to
fault.
figure it out together. And I think I've gotten that from my parents, like, having conversations with them recently. It's been like, oh, that's really cute. You guys didn't know what you were doing. And we just worked it out. And it's fine.
Universal is every parent is like, I have no idea.
You forgave me and I forgave you, and it's fine.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point. And I think one of the things that makes you feel the most adult is being around, like, a little kid. You know, like, raising a kid, because all of a sudden you have to know everything. And, like, you have to, like, the little kid doesn't know, you know?
Isn't that scary?
Well,
and yeah.
To wear that for someone now.
And that's,
right? Is that being like, whoa, yeah, you know everything.
They ask you
so
questions.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do worry about the day that our kid, like, asked me to help with his homework. And I finally have to, like, take the mask off. Like, I don't know anything. You do the homework yourself. You probably know more.
It's all Alex.
Yikes.
That's something that I think about a lot. I don't know if we're, like, necessarily in that place for kids yet, but
Right.
all of my friends have kids.
We didn't think we were either.
No.
Yeah, but surprise.
Yeah, kind of just happened.
Sorry, go ahead.
But all of my friends have kids, and some of them have, like, 3 or 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah. Like,
Like,
grown-up
what in the
kids.
world?
Like,
Yeah.
8-year-olds.
Yeah.
So
But-
weird.
Which first of all makes me feel like hella old.
Yeah.
I felt like I was an old maid when I got married. I was like, how old was I? 25? I was 25 when I got married. I was like, so old.
Yeah,
I could
just,
not be
like,
more old.
Invite the cats in. Just start
Right,
knitting.
Just
yeah.
start.
She doesn't
now.
want a cat. Don't bring that up.
Yeah, I know. You know, but so it's something I think about a lot. You know, just kind of intrinsically because I have a lot of friends that are, you know, posting, you know, like mother-centered posts about their kids and things like that, and freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking, man, you know, what would I do in this situation? Like, I'm not even a mom, and I feel like mom pressure.
Right.
I already feel mom guilt, and I don't even have any kids.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you, like, feel that already, or are you just like, sorry, I don't want to bring it up if you're like, bring it up.
No,
Just,
that's
like,
okay.
Just cut it, just truncate it, and just don't even think about it.
Like I said, I'm in this weird, I don't know when the bubble's gonna pop. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I'm in this weird phase where I'm like, yeah, we're gonna work it out. We're gonna figure it out, and it's good. And he's just gonna be our little buddy. And I hope he likes this. I don't know. But
do my best.
I don't know. I think I just was, for some reason, always had this understanding that my parents were doing the best that they could. Yeah. And that this was their first, I mean, they would say that to me, like, this is our first time doing this ever with you. So we're figuring it out as we go, just like you are. And I think that always, like, helped me, especially as a teenager, like, you know, all those confusing years, like, they were like, well, we don't know. This is the first time we've done this too. We've never raised a kid before. So I don't know. I don't know why I feel so calm. Like, I mean, we were telling you earlier, like, we have to move right after we have the baby. We have to get a new job. I don't know. It's just really crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. And that's like, that'll be one more huge check mark on our we're adults now list.
Yeah. And we just feel fine. And I don't know. I should feel mom guilt. I feel like I'm worried that I'm not more worried. Does that make sense?
You're feeling guilty about not having
mom guilt. It's always there.
You just can't escape the mom guilt.
Yeah. Like, I've got a ton of friends that are pregnant right now as well that are like stressing about what baby monitor to buy, about, you know, their birth plan. Like, what even is a birth plan? I don't know. That's so awesome.
Get it out. That's the plan.
Exactly.
The plan is when it's ready to come out.
Exactly.
Get it out. That's
and I love women that like are so meticulous about those kinds of things. I'm just not worried. I don't know. And I'm grateful for that, I guess, because right now we don't need any more stress.
It's funny though. I have that same thing. My biggest guilt/stress is that I don't feel enough guilt or stress. So I'm like, crap, like, am I a psychopath? Like, do I not love this kid? Like, you know, like, I'm not worried about it.
We're not worriers. We're not.
Like,
some
of our friends are pregnant and due at the same time, and they're like, oh yeah, like, we got this figured out. We're going to this doctor. We got this special thing to put on their toes. We know when they're breathing. I'm like, oh, I haven't thought of any of that stuff. How am I going to know when they're breathing? You know?
And like, which crib is top of the line and which, I don't know.
It's good. Like, I'm not even dissing on those people.
No,
I think
great.
that it's awesome that they're so responsible.
Sure.
I like worry that I'm not more like that. Like, maybe my kids are going to be screwed up because I didn't like think through all the different stuff.
Well, and I mean, again, I'm just observing all of this like as a third party. Right. But, and me just thinking for myself, like, man, I feel like for sure, like, I'm going to be like that crazy helicopter mom. It's like, what if I am? Right? Because you have this thing that is so precious. And it's like, of course you want the best crib and the best blanket and the best bottles and the best whatevers, you know? And like,
it's only natural.
I need to play Mozart for at least 15 minutes a day or my kid's going to be an idiot. Or
For real.
You know,
for real.
And I think that there's like, you know, the universal saying that there's no wrong way to parent. There's no right way to parent. Right? Like, everyone is just,
it's so personal.
Out of all of the billions of parents in the world, there are probably billions of different ways to parent.
Totally.
Your kids. Yeah. And I mean, it turned out fine.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, if you start going down the rabbit hole too much, it starts to really get in your head. Like, okay, I want all the perfect stuff for my kid. Oh, but I don't want my kid to feel entitled. Okay, so I'll get all the worst stuff for my kid. Oh no, but I don't want my kid to think that they suck. I'll get all the most normal stuff.
Are we going to be snackers or not snackers?
It's really easy to overthink it. Like, so easy. I'm like, okay, I'll play Mozart so they're smart. But I don't want them to be stuck up. Okay, so we'll play AC/DC so that they're cool.
Well, that would be weird though. So like, cool Mozart.
And you don't want to be like overbearing, but I don't want to be hands off. So it's like, you're going to screw them up, whatever you do. I don't know. We're going to screw them up, but we just kind of accepted
love,
that.
But with love.
Yeah.
As long as it's with love, then it's fine.
The one thing that we've talked about that we're like really specific on is, and it's kind of a, I mean, pretty basic thing to think, but like, we don't really care that much about, you know, all of the specifics of how we parent. We'll figure it out, you know, I'm sure we will in the future, but we want to instill confidence. So we're not like really, really like, have you seen those parents that are like really sarcastic with their kids? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, there's a balance, you know, but that's one thing that I feel strongly about is not like shutting my kids down. Confidence.
Especially publicly.
Yeah. Confidence is a big one. And then just that they feel loved. You know, I think that's a pretty normal. I mean, what's normal? I guess a lot of people are neglected as a kid, but those two things are kind of my soapbox for parenting is like, well, if we have those, whatever else, you can eat Otter Pops all day. I don't care. Just as long as We're instilling that you feel loved and you feel
you're doing it confidently.
Right. As long as you just
I'm eating all these autopops.
You
I don't
own
even
that.
care. You know.
Can we just talk about autopops for a second? So I remember when we were really, really little, we had this old crappy couch, and we had autopops. It was summertime, and you could buy so many autopops.
Oh yeah,
for
so cheap.
Right? So my parents were out doing something somewhere, and we all sat on that crappy couch and ate like the whole box of autopops, and then stuffed all the wrappers like inside the couch. And then I think when we went to like get rid of the couch, my mom lifted it up and it was just like trash.
Oh my god!
Years of trash that all the kids had just like stuffed into the couch.
That's funny.
Anyway, fun story.
My mom one time, so she makes wedding cakes. You know, like the fondant, which is like really thick frosting on the side. It can stand by itself, right? Even if there's not a cake under there, like it can still stand. So my mom, she made this cake for a friend. And it was actually Rice Krispie treats. And then she did the fondant on top.
Oh, okay.
And we would sneak in there and we would lift it up and then eat out the Rice Krispie treats a little bit at a time. And it was big, you know, it was like, I don't know, like this big. I think it was the topper for a real cake or something. And like a month passed and then she goes to get it and it's completely hollow. It's just the fondant. She's like, you kidding me? Now I have to take this to the wedding and it's like nothing in there? Yeah.
Okay, can we just talk about weddings for a second? Because
Please.
I wanted to run away. And was like, we should just go to Bora Bora and get married on the beach.
Yeah.
If you're gonna spend the money.
Yeah, and that's it. And he was like, no, we should have like a real wedding. Oh, get it, a real wedding!
Weddings are stressful.
It's stressful.
Yeah, it is. Where did you guys get married here?
We got married here on a friend's property in Bountiful.
Nice.
Bluffdale. Started with a B. I was close.
Close.
Yeah.
Just like that video game.
It was close.
Yeah.
It was close, yeah. So, and it was low key. I feel like I know I'm kind of a high stress person. I get in my own head, have a little bit of that touch of anxiety, which makes things really fun, really interesting.
Oh yeah.
And I've always felt so strongly that people get so caught up in the details. Right? Like, what color are my napkins? Like, these napkins don't match the exact color of my wedding colors, and everything's ruined. And I know that I was going to be that person. So I wanted to just be as, like,
cut any
low
kind
key
of
as possible, right? To avoid that, because I just feel like the most important part is that we are getting married
and
how
you
my best
feel.
friend. And like, that's the most important part. And I don't want to be stressed about napkins because I know that I'm going to be. I know myself. I'm like, that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. So I had some regrets because I wish I would have done a little bit more of that. Just a little bit. Like mostly just in terms of like getting all the pictures that we wanted and like not trying to be so low key that I wasn't a little more pushy about the things that I really did want.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, yeah, we bought all of our food at Costco.
Yeah.
And it was delicious.
Nice.
You know, that we got to eat while we were driving away to go on the honeymoon. They like put up my maid of honor, Mikhail, she like put a plate in the seat of our car.
That's why you have them. That's why you have them.
That's the only time we could eat.
Oh.
But yeah, and we like had tons of food and it was, I mean, we just did it.
Well, your pictures are beautiful.
Yeah, they are beautiful.
So these are our bridals.
These are our bridal photos
that one is from the wedding.
that we took in a parking lot.
Cute.
So
Really?
I'm literally standing in a parking lot.
Where at? Is that north?
Up
American Fork Canyon?
Like by Tibble Fork?
Yeah, we wanted to go to, I don't remember what it's called, the Alpine
Loop?
Yeah. The Alpine Loop.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
We wanted to go up there, but kind of by the time we got started, it was a little bit too late in the day and the light was fading, so we turned around, found this really gorgeous parking lot, and our photographer just worked it so that you couldn't see any of the parking lot. So that's what we did.
No, I think it's really good.
Yeah. Where did you guys get married?
In Arizona.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes. We got married in Arizona. She's from Arizona. We had a lot of discussions that were very similar to that because a lot of family was coming from out of town, you know, and because I'm not from Arizona and, you know, a lot of her family's not even from there. And so it was really important to us to not have it have to be so perfect that it ended up ruining the actual day itself, you know? Like, I mean, I think brides are the kind of the poster child for like too far one way, you know, where they're like, so like, this is my day and I will murder you.
Stereotypically,
yeah. And you know, it's not like they're obviously really all like that, but it can be really easy to get caught up in that. And I think we did a pretty good job. I mean, you did a pretty good job. I didn't really do anything. But her and her mom.
Well, I was very much like you. I don't know. I knew myself, and I knew that I knew how I wanted to feel on our wedding day. That's kind of all I knew. And I'm really grateful that I had my mom, because she like helped me make those kinds of choices so that I didn't have to have regrets afterwards. Because I just was so caught up in the fact that I was marrying my best friend. He waited for me while I was on my mission. So I was just like so excited any second I was with him, because it felt like such a novelty, because I hadn't seen him in so long, that I just didn't really care. I thought that I didn't care about any of the details, that like having my mom there to be like, no, you're gonna care about this, like let's just do the work right now and make a couple little decisions that feel really stupid right now, so that on your wedding day you can feel the way you want to feel. And I'm really grateful, even though like at the time it seemed like I don't really care about the dress, I don't really care, but I mean I did. I wanted to feel a certain way, and in order to feel a certain way I needed to make some choices, and I think that it was, I don't know, our day was beautiful.
She was really good. Maddie's mom was very helpful to help us find that balance, you know, where we're not like so high strung about being perfect, but then we also don't regret not making some of the decisions.
Yeah.
Like the florist. Shout out. She brought the wrong flowers.
Did she really?
In our bridals.
Not really.
Yeah, she did. Our bridals, our flowers were perfect. So we have good pictures of them. But yeah, she brought the wrong flowers. And I specifically told her I did not want a long ribbon, and she put a long ribbon on it. Like so much so that when
she just like look at her and just like
just drop the flowers.
I told her I only wanted peonies in my bouquet. This is so stupid. So the bouquet was so
Bridezilla. Just kidding.
As if you don't even know Bridezilla. So it was so wrong that we came out of the temple came out into the little waiting room, and they had a bouquet sitting there. And I was like, oh, I wonder where my bouquet is. And they're like, you're the only bride here. This is the bouquet. And I'm like, no, that's not my bouquet. That's not what I asked for. And they're like, no, for real. This is your bouquet. There's no other. I'm like, oh, okay. It's fine.
Yeah, we're exaggerating. It really wasn't bad. I mean, the flowers were great, and like they look good in the pictures and everything. But it was just funny that it's true, because you want it to be so perfect that you can get caught up in that kind of stuff.
Well, especially because you pictured a certain way, right?
Yeah.
Like, I pictured how I would look in this dress with my hair and my makeup with this bouquet. This is not the bouquet that I ordered, right?
How long ago did you guys get married?
I'm sorry.
How long ago did you get married?
Year and a half.
Nice, guys.
Year and a half. That was. I think probably the one thing that I do wish that we would have done is, because we flew out for our honeymoon the same night that we got married.
Really?
It was a lot.
That is a lot.
It was a lot. We went to Cancun for our honeymoon. And it was a secret. You kept it a secret from me the whole time.
Oh, cute.
That's fun. I do wish
I love a surprise so much.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I do wish that we would have waited. That we would have taken a little more time with all of our friends and family that came to be with us to be there. Because we were kind of on a time schedule a little bit, you know, and that we would have, I mean, and it was still, I don't want to be like, I regret the whole day. Not at all. It was beautiful and amazing. Yeah. But, you know, we did have family come in from far away, like his dad and his stepmom and his siblings that came in from California, and I wish that we would have been able to, like,
at least have a couple days,
on that day. And
your family from Alaska.
Yeah, my family came in from Alaska.
Yeah, that's huge.
To be there.
Oh, wow.
And some of them came a lot earlier, and we were able to see them before the wedding.
Right.
But that is one thing that I wish that we would have taken the time to do, and that I would have maybe just taken some extra days off for my PTO for our honeymoon, because we were only there for like 3 days, 3 or 4 days. Yeah,
we had 3 full days in Cancun.
3 full days. Yeah.
But yeah, it all is a little bit weird, because in February we bought and planned out a 9-day trip to New York in September, and we got married in August, and so we were planning on having the New York trip be kind of like our honeymoon.
Right.
Yeah.
And we actually moved our wedding up a week because Lorin's sister was going to be preoccupied.
She had to go to court.
Right.
She's a judge.
Yeah. Okay, look, I just want to say for the record that she was not on trial. She had to go and testify in court because she is a bigwig HR rep, and somebody got hit by a cart at Target, and she had to go and like testify.
Wow.
They were like suing Target, and she had to go and like speak in court.
Dang.
So
she was like,
yeah,
and I really wanted to be there.
Yeah,
so
Lauren's closest
Totally.
sibling and one of her bridesmaids. So we moved it up a week so that she could be there, and so we had like a 2-3 week gap between the wedding and our New York trip, and so we had both already used or reserved a lot of PTO for that,
Right.
and so for me anyways, like planning it, I knew that Lorin didn't have a lot of PTO, couldn't take a lot of time off. We also didn't have a lot of time in between.
Yeah.
And so I was like, how can we still go on like an actual honeymoon like right after the wedding? And so it worked out best to go like right after the wedding for the weekend, take like a long weekend to be there for a few days.
That's fun.
So we came back and we were only here. We went back to work for like 2 weeks, and then we took 9 days off to go to New York.
So nice.
That's way fun.
I do wish it was just like for the actual honeymoon. Like, how many times am I going to go on like a honeymoon?
Yeah.
Right? Because we can call any trip we take a honeymoon if we want to. Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, the real honeymoon right after the wedding. And I do wish we were just taking more time for that. And it was still amazing. We have like you can't see it. We have a Corona with our picture on it.
Yikes.
We went on the catamaran and they just like gave it to us. We're like, well, I don't drink beer, but I guess also we'll just put it up in our house.
That's funny.
That's cute. I see it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna follow it.
We had a moment kind of like that on our honeymoon, actually. We went to.
I can't get it. Honey, help me.
It's careful.
It's got a lot of cool stuff
I
up there.
love it.
Oh, that's awesome.
How fun. What a fun
Oh, is that a
keepsake.
picture of you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Oh,
the two
I'm
of
going to put
us.
this right up next to the camera so
Yeah.
all the viewers can see.
Yeah, so the catamaran cruise that we booked to go out to Isla Mujeres, just off of Cancun.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was like
Don't drop it.
Like-
dude.
Oh, I know.
So cute.
unlimited alcohol,
Right.
and they like were walking around like
All
asking everybody like, what do you want to
inclusive,
drink,
yeah.
and everyone was like, oh, like, give me a beer, give me a margarita, whatever, and they came to us and we're like, we'll just have water.
Do you guys have Sprite?
And they're like, are you sure? And
Sugar
like, yeah.
beer.
Like we didn't even want like soda or anything because we were like in the baking sun, like
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, we'll take your picture, and like then they handed us that, and like,
That was like
because it has our photo.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's from
funny.
our honeymoon.
That's so
It was
We-
a
cute.
package.
We had a really funny moment like that too. So we went to Hawaii. Neither of us had ever been. It was super fun. And we went to this place and it said like we'd heard of it as like the most famous Mai Tai in the world or something.
It's like
that.
where the Mai Tai was created.
Yeah, where the Mai Tai was created. We're so excited, like, oh, the world's best Mai Tai. I don't even know what a Mai Tai is. And so we go in and like we like get burgers, and I'm like, I'll take one of your finest Mai Tai.
But
Also
for it.
I don't drink. And lady's like, are you serious? I'm like,
You
yeah.
asked for a virgin Mai Tai.
Can I get a virgin Mai Tai? And she's like, yeah, that's just literally guava juice. Do you really want to pay $15 for like a cup of guava juice? Okay, we already came all the way out here. So I did. I paid like $12.99 for this cup this big
He
of
was
just
so
straight guava
excited.
juice. It was fine as far as guava juice goes.
That was the best in the world. But...
Hey, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what a Mai Tai is, but it's probably like guava and vodka or something. I don't know.
it just was,
But the lady was seriously like judging me so hard that I would even ask. Like had to wait in line to go there and stuff.
Can I get a screwdriver, virgin? Orange
Exactly.
juice and vodka.
Exactly.
just orange
That's
juice.
exactly what happened.
No, it was
That's
embarrassing.
So funny. What island were you guys on in Hawaii?
Kauai.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
it
We
was super
loved
fun.
it.
It was so much fun.
We're planning to go back.
Is that the island with all the chickens?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the one with
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
chickens. It was so much fun, and we did a lot
It
of
was
research
so
before.
quiet. There weren't very many people at all.
Yes.
It was untouched and just beautiful.
We wanted like serene, like nature, the big green mountains and stuff. That's what we
Very
wanted. So
romantic.
we went to that one. I think people that are big Hawaii goers, which we're not, we've only been the once. You know, they know a lot of like volcanoes and like tourist attractions, but we'd never been. So we just picked a couple of big things and they were all on Kauai, so we'll go with Kauai. We loved it.
It was very fun.
That's awesome.
We kind of did the opposite of you guys, where you wanted to take time for your honeymoon. We kind of went overboard. We're like, so we got married in Arizona, and then we waited a couple days, just hung out, just got fat. Then we went to Kauai, and we were in Kauai for like.
We actually went to the gym quite a bit.
Actually, we did because we
Matt
were
is
going.
like, I looked amazing in Kauai, so
Thank you.
It's true, and we actually, I did some teeth whitening for the wedding, so I looked like way good. And so anyway, we waited a couple days. We went to Hawaii. We were there for maybe 5 days or so. Came back, and we actually had a second reception in Utah.
Okay.
Because all of my family's from here. It wouldn't be as big, like we weren't getting married again, obviously. But we had a gap between our Utah reception and when we got back from Hawaii with nothing to do. And we were now married for a week, and we have an apartment, but we don't have any furniture. Let's go to Disneyland. So we went to Disneyland the weekend before.
That's so fun.
Me and her were just like, hey, money doesn't matter, right? We're getting married,
You're
so.
like,
Exactly. We just like went to Disneyland, then came back and had our second reception.
We did that a lot the first year we were married.
Oh,
just
yeah.
like,
oh my gosh.
we have money. Let's just do it.
We're adults.
The second year of our marriage looked a lot different.
Yeah, very, very different.
Living that dink life.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Well, not anymore, but it's okay. It's alright. This is better. Right?
True. Much better. I don't know. It was a very interesting time. Then we had a second party, which was so fun, but like it's kind of weird too to have a second reception because I don't know. You go through like the peak and valley of your first reception, and then you like come down from it, and then you have to get yourself back up.
Ramp up, take some pre-workout, get back out
Oh
there.
yeah, do some push-ups and stuff. It was fun.
Maddie, do you need some more water?
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay.
Don't worry. I actually should probably go to the bathroom.
Well, that's fine. It's labeled there.
It is labeled. You're right.
True. We don't want to take you guys whole night. Do you guys want to say anything to our sponsors?
Sponsors, like what sponsors? What?
This is all being live streamed. So.
Sponsored by Corona.
Right. And
Not the
Michael Jordan.
Oh, not the
Michael
virus.
Jordan.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking about the virus. Oh shoot, not the virus.
Wrong Corona. Different Corona.
Yeah. I'll have to make that like the thumbnail to the video, so it'll be like, this is a Corona video.
We should
yeah.
have sat 6 feet apart. Shoot.
Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah,
this is
thank
fun.
you. This is awesome. This
I
is
know.
fun.
It's exactly this. This is why it's fun. We just like I don't know.
Shoot the breeze.
Shoot the breeze, and it's super fun, and we always look back on them. Like a certain amount of time passes and you forget. And then when you re-listen to it, it's a lot of fun. Actually, it's more fun than you'd think to listen back on.
I'm
So.
going to think about that story of you hiding treats all over your house.
I'm going to edit the
Probably
crap
for
out of
the-
that. That's not going to
Probably
make
for
it.
the rest of the week. I'm like, I remember that one
Oh
time
my
you'd said.
gosh.
Not just like some non-perishable treat. It's like raw cookie dough that was probably warm by the time he got back to it.